Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
I poured it in my mouth and it just wasn't going down.
My first beer was an IPA, the best IPA I've ever drank, mostly because I brewed it.
If you have a scale that is good for measuring cocaine, you're probably good for measuring hops on cocaine.
You're scaring me.
I think the information is awesome and the audio sucks.
Make some sugary water, throw some yeast in there.
And you're going to drink good beer.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's fine.
God damn it, man. Oh, my God. Oh.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on The Session, live from the Hop Grenade in cold Concord, California.
Yeah, it's almost 70 outside.
Yeah, it's
terrible.
It's really freezing out there.
Comfortable Concord, California.
Yeah. That's right. Beardy's from Minnesota or something. It's
from Santa Cruz.
Whatever.
Close enough.
Yeah. The mountains.
He's wearing a tank top out there.
Yeah, I'm stoked for the summer, or the winter, rather, because I can wear my real nice, my old man sweater, as I like to call
cardigans and things.
But I'm still a little warm in them, but I know it looks good, or I think it looks good. So I'm like, I'm just going to suffer and look real good, even though it's like it's always borderline sweater weather here.
We all appreciate
in
it.
Winter. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, people are bundling up inside the Hop Grenade, so I like to see that. Come on in and drink some beer. We got a great show planned for you today. Thanks to our sponsor, More Beer. You can go over to morebeer.com and check them out. They've been bringing you this show for the past 10 years, and we thank them for it. You can go thank them by doing some of your holiday shopping over at morebeer.com. Get your beer gifts over there and show them some love because they've been good to us. Tonight on the program, we have a couple of things happening. We have a lot of things happening, really. First of all, we've got White Labs back in the studio.
That's right.
Hey.
Yeah. White Labs back in the studio. It's been a long time. In fact, White Labs has never been to Studio Hop Grenade. I forget what we called this studio. It had a name at one point.
Oh, I've been here.
Did we actually decide?
Carrie, you've been here before? On the show?
No, just drinking.
Just here drinking. Have you ever been on the show at all?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Did you get your own show, or you just were like here for a quick segment?
San Francisco Beer Week, maybe like 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When it was still at my house.
Yes, and Susie was in the closet monitoring social media.
Yeah.
Or something.
That's how we live. She's still in the closet, actually.
Right.
Yeah, we made her stay
At the house.
Her parents don't know.
Well, you guys were talking about breast or something. Wasn't the charity thing you guys were doing, the run?
No, I'm separate. I'm not all about that 60 miles. I can't. That's a lot.
You don't appreciate boobs?
Hey, you and I are on the same page
No, I
there.
love boobs. Who doesn't love boobs? That's weird.
Not a person on earth.
What's wrong with them?
Even Neil Patrick Harris is like, tits are great. I don't even know.
Yeah. Kara Taylor from White Labs, she is there. I'm trying to remember. I always forget your stupid title.
Analytical Lab Manager.
Ooh, I was close. I was going to say Analytical Director. You're the Analytical
You can do
Lab
that too.
Manager.
Raise.
Now, the White brothers are also here, but Kara's going to hang out with us, do the first part of the show. And then we're going to talk about a lot of new stuff happening at White Labs. In the meantime, if you've got questions about yeast or fermentation, you can call us at 888-401-BEER when we start the yeast segment. You can also hit the chat button in the home on the homepage, and Bevo's in there. She'll get your questions over to me, and we can talk all things yeast with White Labs. A lot of changes we're going to be talking about, plus a big announcement tonight that you're going to want to stick around for. So it's a big show. And we've got a lot to do. The other thing we're doing tonight, and we've never done this before, I'm really excited about it, we're doing our first American Homebrewers Association membership rally tonight on the show. The rally is actually going to last for the entire week until Sunday the 20th. But what I'm encouraging you to do is to either sign up for your first AHA membership, or you can renew your membership by clicking the AHA link on our homepage. It's down there on the right side. It's an orange button. It says AHA. You can click that. There's also a banner that rotates at the top of the page. You can click that. And what you're doing then is you're signing up through the Brewing Network. It helps the American Homebrewers Association, which in turn helps you as a home brewer. And it helps us out, too, because we're an affiliate of theirs. And what we want to do is get a whole bunch of you to sign up. That's what we're looking to do. We're going to break a record tonight. And in order to do that, we're giving you a free copy with your new membership or your renewal, a free copy of both Modern Homebrew Recipes by Gordon Strong and American Sour Beers by Michael Tonsmere. Wow. So you get 2 free books for your membership. It doesn't cost you any more to sign up through the BN by clicking that link. And you're going to get 2 free books. Click the link and then use coupon code BNARMY. You know the deal. It's
and we can use that to renew also, because my time's up, so this will be great.
Renew. As long as you do it between... I know most of our listeners listen to the podcast, so you're not hearing me live here on Monday night, but that's okay. You've got until Sunday, December 20th, to use coupon code BNARMY. But you do have to go to our homepage and click the AHA link from there. If you don't see the AHA link, you possibly have an ad blocker that is killing the links. Although I think I found a workaround that not all ad blockers should be blocking it, but occasionally I still hear that people can't find the link.
That's too bad.
That's the deal. I'm going to remind you all night long. Those of you listening live, if you're not a member or if you need to renew, don't wait. I want you to go do it right now.
Right now.
I want you to stop listening to me and go.
So you're saying I should go?
Well, I was hoping that they stopped listening to me right when I said that, so it didn't matter what else I said.
That was really dumb.
Thank you. So go click the button and use coupon code BNARMY right now. Get your 2 free books. Maybe you already have the books because they're so great. That's okay. Gift them to somebody else.
Right, Christmas is coming up.
Yeah. Or buy your friend a membership
for
to
Christmas,
the AHA.
Surprise.
Yeah, so that's what I want to see happen tonight. And I want at least between now and Sunday, I want at least 100 new memberships out of the BN Army.
Oh, let's go for 2.
Or renewals. It's a piece of cake, right? Yeah. You should be part of the American Homebrewers Association because they go to work for you, whether it be legislation or promoting the hobby or working with homebrew shops or adding to their member affiliate program, which gets you discounts at bars.
Yeah.
Like the Hop Grenade. You get
we can get a discount. We can discount here.
I exclude friends, family, employees, and
surcharge.
What if I'm neither? What if I'm none of the above?
And JP.
Shit.
Yeah, it's all in the fine print.
Yeah, you should join the AHA because let's be honest. When's the next time a part of the 99% can ever join a lobby group? Really,
it's true,
right?
Yeah. We do have a major lobby group.
Fight for your interest.
Finally, get a representative in Washington.
Right.
Yeah.
Sign up for the AHA.
Plus, of course, you get Zymergy magazine. I mean,
there's an online version. I want to make sure everybody knows that you don't have to get the paper.
That's right.
Great.
You can get it on your iPad and all that stuff. Yeah. So
or your Windows tablet.
Yeah. Any of this. No, I don't know.
No shit.
No, I think
Damn.
you know.
I'm striking out.
Then you get access to all the archives. It's not like you missed anything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Subscription. Man, you got years worth of good stuff on any topic you want to.
If you want to brew a truly authentic mid '90s IPA, that's where I would go.
Google me on there, and I think I got one of those old school IPA.
All the back issues are there. It's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
That's really cool.
I'm due to up my renew.
Do it right now. Get Doc on a computer.
Get Doc
right
a
now.
laptop.
Let's get at least 100 tonight.
Yeah, let's do it. That's what I want to see happen. All right, I'll keep reminding you. In the meantime, let me get through some other announcements, and then we're going to talk to our old friends at the Fast Rack. You guys remember the Fast Rack?
Fast Rack.
They got a new product out that's just kicking ass, and we're going to talk to them about that here in a couple minutes. First of all, a couple of announcements. The session needs a producer. That's right. Moskowitz has stepped down as the session producer. He's moving on to bigger and better things, and he's still around for the Sour Hour and other various Brewing Network projects, but he's no longer producing the session, so maybe you are the next Brewing Network session producer. It's not a very fun job, I'm going to tell you right now. But it's prestigious. Okay, it's not a very prestigious job.
But it'll change your life.
But you do get to drink beer on the job. Okay, so that's about it.
But you have to pay for it.
Without your AHA discount.
Right. It is a paid position. It's a lot of fun to work with the Brewing Network, as I'm sure you can imagine. And we do need a new producer, as you'll see happening over the course of the next several weeks. I'm producing the program until we replace Moscow.
I think you're doing great so far.
Do you? Because I was going to say, as you watch the show slowly decline in quality,
I think it's been amazing.
Well, it reminds me a lot of 2006 Brewing Network quality, actually.
Yeah, good. So we are going backwards. So listen, just send me an email, justin@thebrewingnetwork.com. A couple of you did last week, and I'm looking to hear from you. You do need to be local. I'm not looking for a producer to work remotely. You need to be local to the Concord area, able to get here to the studio pretty much every Monday. You got to spend some time making phone calls, booking guests, and generally taking abuse from me. That's pretty much the job description. So send me an email, justin@thebrewingnetwork.com. Couple of events you need to know about. Beer Geek New Year's Eve is back at the Hop Grenade. We had a great time last year catering to you beer geeks, and we're going to do it again this year. We don't, we tend to be at the Hop Grenade like we don't want to be exclusive. We try not to just say we're a beer geek bar and that other people can't come in. We try to be all inclusive. But on New Year's Eve, no. It's for beer geeks. We're going to put so much awesome beer on tap, just like we did last year, and you should come in and enjoy it with us. No tickets necessary. You come in, you get a flight of beers. It's going to be a great time. So come and hang out at the Hop Grenade on New Year's Eve.
Can I bring my couch? In the courtyard, because I don't really do anything outside of the radius of that.
Right.
So I figure if I can bring it with me, it's like a service dog or like a comfort dog.
Oh, I see.
If I could bring that, then I'd feel more comfortable leaving my house.
We do have a couch on the patio.
Yeah, but other people have sat there, and I see your clientele. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
You could buy one of those inflatable couches.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I got to sit there and blow it up for an hour.
That'll be fun for us, though.
It's going to be real funny to watch.
No, the couches aren't allowed.
No couches. God damn it.
Yeah, you're striking out. Yeah. All right. Also, Winterfest is now not in the winter. It's on April 2nd this year.
Is it still a fest?
It's still a fest.
Well, doesn't that depend on if the groundhog sees his shadow?
Yeah,
could it still be winter?
It could be the first day of...
I guess you're right. It could still be winter.
I don't know how that works, but I just know...
You're from Minnesota. You're supposed to know how this works.
That's from Pennsylvania. It's way farther east.
But closer to Minnesota than to us.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not in Minnesota, believe it or not, right now.
Whatever.
I wish you were.
So stay tuned for more details. I've told you the story already, but San Francisco Beer Week moved in the way of us, and we just decided to get out of the way of all the other events and El Nino. So they don't want us all to have to stand around in the rain. So April 2nd, mark your calendars.
April showers, bring May flowers.
Yeah. All right, there's Brewing Network gear in our store. You can still do your holiday shopping, and you should get it in time, especially if you shop today or tomorrow or the next day. We ship very quickly, and you can buy beer gifts for the beer people in your life.
I'm buying my dad a growler.
Oh, yeah? One of our Hop Grenade growlers?
There you go.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He just likes the logo, and he's a truck driver, so I think
he can totally put his beer in there and drive his truck.
And coffee.
Piss jugs.
Yeah. Nothing like a good road
That's
soda.
probably more like a JP.
Well, because it has a big, wide mouth, and you don't get caught when you're peeing in it.
No,
we haven't covered that, but maybe this Christmas we will. I'm not sure.
You can put your whole junk in that thing.
Like, really good.
On a cold winter's day.
You can try to go no hands. Like, you can put your whole junk in there and then see if it just stays.
Oh, it should. Well,
that's going on the card for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, try putting your whole junk in.
Yeah. With the drawing and everything.
Yeah, it's great. Actually, though, as a truck driver, it's a double-walled insulated growler. It'll keep his coffee hot for hours and hours and hours, too. So, all right, so go just hit the, I think it says store on our website. I forget what it says. Store. There you go. Hit that button, and then go do some shopping.
Please do.
You could also do Christmas shopping on Amazon by clicking the Amazon link on our homepage. That helps us out, too. You don't pay any more money or anything else, and we're only sort of spying on you when you shop that way, but we get a little cut, and a lot of you do that, and it helps us quite a bit. So click the Amazon link on the homepage and do some shopping for Christmas. Okay. Subscribe and join the BN Army. Enters you to win $100 to the More Beer monthly donation giveaway, and it also helps us stay alive here in the studio and drink beer with you. So get all these updates and more over on Twitter. And the other thing. I think that's all I have. Send your feedback to feedback@brewingnetwork.com. Do we have a Twitter game today, JP?
You know, oddly enough, we do.
Our Twitter game today is brought to you by the Labruski Cruise, which we are going on in March. It's the first week of March. You can click the Labruski Cruise button on our homepage. It's the picture of like a boat that's made out of a beer barrel or something. And it's pretty cheap to go. You get a 2-room cabin for like $800 for 5 days in the Caribbean or Caribbean.
Yeah.
On a boat.
Caribbean Queen.
Doc's going. JP's going. Bevo's going. I'm going. Kara was gonna go.
Oh, I don't want to go now.
It's a sore subject.
I got invited to go to Brazil instead.
Oh, I've never been to Brazil. Oh, wait, I probably have.
Brazil won't be there next year. There's always another cruise.
Yeah.
Look, I tried to fly from that private island that you guys are going to.
Nassau?
And unfortunately, that
that's
doesn't
a
exist.
public island.
Oh, it's the other one.
Yeah, I
And
don't
you
know.
can't fly out of it?
Yeah, no, there's no airport on this private island,
I
which
know.
kind of makes sense.
Just
but,
hop on a jet ski.
Yeah.
Or
You'll make it
rowboat.
there.
to Brazil, yes.
Yeah. What are they, like
Row.
50 yards away?
Put up a sheet on a stick and sail.
Yeah.
I'm really disappointed in you, Kara.
Trust me, I'm upset also.
We were going to rage. We were going to... Now we're
not going to.
There's always next year, right? No?
I don't know.
I hope.
We're going to drink hot tea on the deck and sing with Kara.
Yeah.
That sounds really nice.
Maybe with a little lemon, I don't know.
Play rummy.
Yeah.
All right, so click the Labruski Cruise button on our homepage, and also... This is the last week.
Also.
This is the last week. So we've been entering our Twitter game winners for a chance to win a cabin for 2 for several months now.
Yeah.
Tonight's the last night.
Cut off.
So I encourage you to participate in the Twitter game tonight for a chance to win a cabin for 2 on the Labruski Cruise with us, because next week on the program, we're giving away the cabin.
Wow. Whoa.
And only Twitter winners were entered to win this thing. So, got it? What's our Twitter game?
Well, the BN is trying to expand here. We're trying to get a little bit more cash, trying to make it in the world, but maybe the world of beer audio isn't quite enough. So I wanted to announce finally on the show that the Brewing Network is getting into the condiment business.
Okay.
And start making some condiments.
I didn't know we were going to leak this yet.
Oh, yeah. Leak. It's a what sort of food-enhancing product should we make, and what is it called? So, for example, Tasty Sauce. Okay? Tasty Sauce is the condiment that I made up.
Everybody knows what that's like.
It's a blend of 4 ketchups, a hint of basil, a fistful of dog hair, some weed butter, and the lightest touch of mayonnaise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty nicely done.
So like,
You win.
It's like the In-N-Out burger sauce.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, there you go. Condiment business.
So you're saying the Twitter game is to design a BN condiment?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it? What's it called?
Got it.
Yeah.
What is it made of?
Sure.
Okay. I was just thinking that whoever sits in that middle seat can't put their phone away for the whole program. I thought maybe it was cursed because
somebody's got to do that.
Usually Tasty's there and it's the same thing. And ever since Doc got in the studio, he's just been on his phone until a second ago.
He was he was renewing his membership.
Ask me what I was just doing.
Did you renew your membership?
Yes, for 2 years.
All right. Nice. You're going to get your 2 free books. Did you use coupon code BNARMY?
No.
Oh, shit.
No books for you.
Oh.
We're still at 0.
And no credit for us.
No, I went through a website.
Website.
The website.
Oh, okay.
So we'll get credit. You just won't get your 2 free books.
I used America Online.
Wow.
It's fine.
It's all right.
I'll see what I can do. I know people at DH.
Where can I plug in my modem? Hold on, guys.
I can barely see my phone without my glasses on, so it's...
So you're lucky it happened at all during the show.
Understood.
Oh, wait, I wasn't listening to you anyway.
All right, so let's move on. We're going to have to push feedback back to the end of the program.
Doc's locked in the closet.
Let me out.
I'm here once on time, and
Well, we got to move it back because it's time to talk to our friends over at the Fast Ferment, also known as the Fast Rack. Two different wonderful products that they deal with. And the Fast Ferment is their conical, their plastic conical fermenter that is so badass that you need to know about it. So we're going to talk to the guys, assuming they answer their phone here in a moment, and figure out what we can do to tell you about the Fast Ferment. Hey, guys, you with us? Oh, they're connected, but they don't appear unless I'm on their answering machine.
Might be.
Hey guys, Justin from the Brewing Network. Just calling you, talk to you about your Fast Ferment. Sending my listeners over to fastbrewing.com right now, and when they go there, they can check out the Fast Ferment, which is great for beginning brewers. I would say for advanced brewers too, but
for sure.
I know that they're really working on the beginning brewer market because it's just such a great alternative to the plastic bucket
It's going right away.
or the glass carboy.
And whatever can make it easier for new people.
Yeah. Easier to sanitize and all that.
And you get some of the advantages of a conical. Too, with this.
Yeah.
Well, I think you can even they have a bracket you can hang it on the wall.
Yeah.
So you're not only cleaning up how you ferment, because that shape is definitely has an impact on how you brew, how your beer finishes out. But it doesn't have to be on the ground. Mount that shit to the wall.
Yeah,
right there. There you go.
And they also have like a carrying strap, too, that makes it easy to move around.
Nice.
They've got the ball on the bottom.
The collection ball.
The collection ball, which has a valve so you can collect your yeast. I mean, it has all the things of basically, the more expensive stainless conical fermenters, but without all the expense. So check it out. People, I'm going to send you the number so you can try to give them a call, too.
Okay.
Trying to find that here.
So we should probably just do feedback.
Yeah, Doc is probably emailing those guys, and he's like, look, just don't answer your phone. We'll get to you later. We'll be totally fine. I need to do feedback.
Exactly.
No, I got their number on redial, so you can't get through.
Right, it's a busy signal.
Well, in talking to the guys before the show about the Fast Ferment, they were mentioning a couple things, and that's that a lot of homebrewers who start homebrewing actually don't continue homebrewing. One of the things is the biggest problem is quality issues. You kind of brew and you brew a bad beer and you
have
you
a
don't
higher
keep going.
expectation than the result. Yeah.
The other thing, of course, is kind of the difficulty. You think, brewing sounds fun, and then you realize, wow, it's quite a bit of work, and
especially the bottling.
And that's not for everybody, especially the bottling. So with the Fast Ferment, you have just this great device that just makes it a lot easier to. Plus, you're kind of upping your quality game by being able to dump trub, get a clearer beer,
and repitch because you can harvest yeast.
And exactly, and then have a nice healthier pitch for your second batch.
You can just take that thing and put it in the fridge.
Yeah,
it's great.
Well, and also with fermenting in buckets, there's that tendency or that desire, I guess, to throw shit in the bucket. I'll throw all my ball valves, or I'll throw my stainless racking cane, and it's easier to scratch the side of a bucket. But in the plastic conical, you're not reaching in to scratch anything. You don't have anything that you're really going in there and digging around. You're not carrying your brewing equipment in the vessel there.
I used to scratch even the neck of my glass carboys because getting the scrub brush down in there, the metal part of it to get the brush at the bottom would always kind of just scrape along the neck of my glass carboys. Yeah. I never liked that either.
Is that why you stopped cleaning them?
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I started sending them to you.
What you do is you get a piece of vinyl tubing and then slit it and wrap that around that shaft.
Yeah. I would just wrap a paper towel around mine.
So wrap the shaft in vinyl?
The metal.
Ooh. Condiments.
All right,
education is important.
I think we've got Casey and Mitchell on the line from the Fast Ferment. You with us, guys?
Hey, guys. How are you? Thanks for the call. We missed you the first time the phone line's up in Canada. Well, they're not as reliable as maybe down where you are.
They're still on a party line up there.
Yeah. It's all... Well, we've been talking about your Fast Ferment already, even without you, because we're pretty excited about it. Hey, so tell us about it, because the last time we spoke to you, we just spoke about the Fast Rack, which everybody loves, of course. But now you guys are dealing with the Fast Ferment. How long have you guys been doing this guy?
Fast Ferment kind of came out last fall, around last November, so it's been out for just over a year now.
Okay. And is it in homebrew shops? I mean, are you guys basically putting it in shops everywhere, or does everybody order online from you?
Been doing awesome with it, yeah. We sell everything through our retail partners. We love all of you, so thank you very much. There's hundreds all over the U.S. So far, we've sold just over 25,000 fast ferments.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
All for our retailers, so thank you very much.
That's awesome, and great for homebrewing, I think. What we were just talking about before we got you is how many new brewers kind of quit after the first batch, and you guys are making it possible to make good beer from the get-go.
It's been a huge thing that we did. We did a ton of research into kind of traditional bucket and carboy kits. As an industry, we found that it's only anywhere between 10 to maybe 50% of people stick with brewing for more than 1 year.
Okay.
We kind of found three main reasons that it's people don't necessarily stick with. One, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And a lot of cleaning, racking, transferring. I know you guys just love that part of it all.
Yeah.
Occasionally, you can get off batch, just too much oxidation or a cloudy batch with sediment. And we also found a ton of these starter kits get sold as gifts, especially this time of year.
Sure.
And if the person that gets it, if they don't have a good experience or make a good beer or wine, we think it's a pretty low chance of sticking around.
So do you sell the fast ferment then as part of a kit in general, or is that up to the retail locations to figure out? Like they can put that in their kits instead of a glass carboy, for example?
Doing a little bit of both. We've kind of started, that's where a lot of shops have been, they've been making in-house ones, so a lot of shops do custom ones. We've also kind of started pre-packaging a few, so we're excited to kind of get those out. That's just starting right now.
Okay.
So we're pushing big to the starter kit market because we think if we can have more people stick around and keep homebrewing, we can make the hobby much bigger, funner, have more people around doing it.
Plus better beer, which is what is important to me, is better homebrew. Yeah. More importantly, guys, I just was talking to Chris White from White Labs before the show, and he said he partied with you guys in Belgium.
Yeah. Oh, he definitely partied with us in Belgium.
Did you guys have a good time out there?
Remembers.
We won't just exclude Chris White. We had John Blickman in there as well, and we had John from 5 Star. We had the whole crew out there with us.
Nice. Where were you in Belgium, and what were you doing?
The distributor for all the products out there is in Bavarlo, Belgium. So we go out twice a year for their customer days, like open door days, where you see all end brewers and all over Europe. And then 2 months later, we go back and meet all the dealers that sell the products all over Europe. So John was there, and we do the whole kind of stay in the same hotel, and obviously go out and have some home brew afterwards and some good Belgian triples.
Beautiful. Sounds like a party.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it sounds like a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It's not as crazy as the NHC, but it's still a lot of fun, that's for sure. Definitely a different style show. It's fun.
Sounds like a great tax write-off.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Definitely a write-off, that's for sure.
Do they have taxes in Canada? I don't even know.
Development.
I think they do have taxes in Canada.
They just got taxes in Canada.
I think they just trust everybody to pay the government what they owe. Like they don't. It's not mandatory. They go, well, you guys are good for it. We know.
We know you're good for it.
You're all right.
Yeah.
I got to say, I'm standing outside right now in Canada, in Toronto, with a T-shirt and shorts on right now up here. Almost 60 degrees outside.
Oh, my God.
Canada's feeling a lot more like the U.S. now with El Nino.
Yeah, you're doing better than us.
Yeah.
Welcome.
We should have come to you for this segment instead of it's cold down here. All right, so do me a favor. How should people go buy the fast ferment? I think I even saw it on Amazon, right?
Early and often.
And it is pretty much anywhere. If you go to your local homebrew retailer, if they're not carrying it, they should be carrying it.
Yeah.
So please ask them. But it's online with most of the big online shops.
Okay.
Yeah. You name it.
All
We've
right.
got a couple samples from you guys from our dear partners at More Beer over there. So looking forward to having you guys test a couple out. See how they work out.
I can't wait. In fact, anybody who's been wanting a conical fermenter, I mean, this is just a great way to get started and see what all the hubbub's about. Cause,
you might have to fly down and, make sure it gets checked out right.
Hey, Doc.
If you got anybody out there that's still looking to give a gift, fast ferment is on the top of most people's Christmas list, is what I've heard today.
There you go. Doc, maybe you should, with all of your brewing gear in storage, if we've got a sample fast ferment, maybe you should use one for the Brewcaster Challenge.
Could do it.
What do you think? You could double batch.
Put it right on the kitchen wall.
I know you don't like to change things up too much. Maybe you could split a batch. You could do one in my conical and one in the fast ferment and just see how things come out. That'd be fun.
All right. We could do that. Let's do that.
Cool.
Very excited.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of fun.
We're gonna hold you to that now that we've got it on radio.
Yeah.
Hold us to it because Doc's really excited about it.
Yeah.
I know
I'm not excited about brewing on Justin's system.
That's what you're nervous
That's
about.
what I'm nervous about.
That's fair.
Well, just think of it as Jamil's system and you're fine.
There you go. Yeah. All right, folks, you can go to fastbrewing.com and check it out. There's a video there about how to use it, so you don't even have to take our advice. You can go check it all out there and see how awesome it is. The Fast Ferment. Thanks, guys, for being on the show and for putting out awesome stuff to help grow the hobby, man.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, and looking forward to coming back and saying hi for sure.
Yeah, when you're down in cold California, come see us.
Bring your flannel.
We'll bring some water with us for sure.
Perfect. All right, thanks, guys.
Some pepperoni sticks.
Take care. You too.
Venison sticks up there.
All right.
Say, I told us so.
They're good guys. They're fun. Yeah. They're always putting on the Fast Rack Challenge at the...
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah, it's always got a big
I
crowd
worked
in front
very
of
hard for my pink Fast Rack.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you? You did the challenge?
Way too hard, yes.
Yeah?
And you know what? It sits in the lab, and no one wants to use it. I'm trying to get people to use that thing. I love it. I worked very hard for it.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep feedback for later. Still.
I think you should do it now. There's a lot of good feedback.
There's a lot of
the tension is
anticipation, too.
Yeah, but you know, we got a lot to do tonight with the White Lads people. So why don't we do this? We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Kara Taylor and Chris White from White Labs are going to talk to us about what's new, which is a lot of things at White Labs.
Yeah.
Plus, we got a big announcement later on in the program. I've been working on this big announcement with White Labs for a few months now, so I'm excited about it, too.
Great.
So hang in there. It's the session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making. Ken Grossman of Sierra Nevada Brewing Company says making great beer is hard. Making the same great beer every day is harder. Brewers Publications announces its latest release for breweries of any type and size. Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers by Mary Pelletieri. Proper quality management for small, regional, and national breweries is critical. Whether you are an established business or brand new, learn the best ways to create and manage a quality system in your brewery. This book will guide you in developing a comprehensive program that will grow with your brewery, help ensure quality processes in the brewery, and continue providing great beer for your fans. Quality management for breweries is critical for continued success. This guidebook teaches you to integrate quality management in every level of the operation. It will guide you in developing a comprehensive program to ensure quality processes in your brewery. Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers, now available from Brewers Publications. Learn more at brewerspublications.com.
The 21st Amendment. Watch out! Do you like beer? They make beer. Watch out! Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun. Watch out! Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment. Watch out! The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring Monk's Blood. made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support. Like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, they're amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and a Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer. Whether for yourself or as a gift, when you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Marin Brewing Company in Northern California has been making award-winning beers for more than 25 freaking years. Today, I want to tell you about their new 12-ounce cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale. The good stuff. Mount Tam is bright gold, 5.5% ABV to keep you feeling good, and has been winning awards since 1989. If you're visiting the Bay Area, get your butt out to Marin Brewing Company. They pour tasty beers and serve great food every day until midnight. Come in for a tour, stay for the food, and pick up a 6-pack of cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale to enjoy at home, camping, biking, or whatever the hell you do. Owner Brendan Moylan has this to say about Marin Brewing beers.
It's freaking awesome.
Marin Brewing has won more than 100 gold medals in international competitions. Check out marinbrewing.com for all their award-winning beers, food, and merch. Marin Brewing Company in Larkspur, California. Award-winning taste, refreshing finish. It's freaking awesome.
Brewcasters are back.
888-401 beer.
Whatever.
All right, welcome back to the program, and thanks so much for hanging out with us. We have so much to do on tonight's show, but as we get to it, let me remind you about one of our great new sponsors over at Great Fermentations, another wonderful homebrew shop who's supporting this show and helping to support the great industry of homebrewing. So go over to greatfermentations.com and thank them. They're one of the largest suppliers of Blickman products on the web, another one of our great sponsors, and Blickman's got a whole new line of products too, the Anvil line. So go check it out. Great Fermentations does a great job of getting you Blickman products. You can order them. They do same-day shipping on some of the main items, and most vendors can take up to 3 weeks to get you that stuff. But they really believe in the Blickman products over there, and they can help you get them fast. And their staff is some of the best trained in using it, and they have top-notch customer service. So please go thank our friends at GreatFermentations.com for supporting this program and helping you guys get great Blickman gear. All right.
So Blickman gear.
Yeah.
And right after you do that, be sure to go to our website and order a renewal of the AHA membership.
That's right. We're doing
that's right.
Chris White, we're doing an AHA rally tonight as part of this
program.
program.
Have you heard of those people, Chris?
AHA?
Yeah. If you go sign up between now, December 14th and December 20th, by clicking the AHA link on our homepage and use coupon code BNARMY, you get a free copy of Modern Homebrew Recipes and American Sour Beers. So go do it. You can renew that way. You can buy a gift for a friend that way. You can buy your own new membership. Just click the AHA link on our homepage and use coupon code BNARMY, BNARMY, and you get all the free stuff.
Free stuff. You get the first chance to get the GABF tickets for the Saturday afternoon session.
When you're a member?
Yeah.
For the members-only session.
Yeah, members-only session.
Members only.
And it's just mostly members, actually.
Yeah, which is like the best session to go to.
It is, by far, yeah.
It's far more fun to be in that one. Yeah. All right, Chris White, Kara Taylor, welcome to the studio. Whitey, this is your first time at the Hop Grenade studio, right?
Yes, first time.
You've been to the bar, of course, but you haven't been in the studio.
Yep, been to the bar a few times. It's great to be in the studio.
In fact, I'm trying to remember when the last time you were on the show was. It's been at least a couple years.
It's been too long.
Maybe 3 years.
It was before me. I was the last one, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. So
it had been at least 4 years.
Wow, maybe it's been like 5 years since we had the show. That's crazy. Well, because now I don't need to invite you to hang out. I just go and hang out with you in San Diego. So
you don't mind going to San Diego.
No, I don't mind at all. But now White Labs has so much happening that we thought it'd be a good time to get you guys back in the studio.
Yeah.
Now, let me think of all the things that have happened. For one of the last things, how long ago it was, at least 5 years ago, when we had our anniversary party at the all-new White Labs facility.
Oh, that was a great party.
Right? Good party.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best party that ever happened. Yeah.
Very exciting time. White Labs has since taken over the entire block. You were in the one building when we were there, and now you have 50 buildings around you, right?
Yeah. We really thought we had got somewhere then. Wow, we got this big building.
Yeah.
And looking back, it's kind of funny because it just was the beginning of a big growth spurt. So
okay,
yeah.
It just wasn't enough space in the one building.
No.
So now you have the production building, and you have the fulfillment building, and you've got
packaging hall building,
packaging hall. Okay, all of that, and that's not even to mention an all-new facility being built in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, we're working on that right now. It was a couple years in planning. We announced in January that we were building a facility there, and we've been in various modes of construction and financing since then, and they're working on the concrete floors right now.
Wow. So talk to me about that. Why? First of all, everybody seems to be moving to Asheville, North Carolina.
I'm not. I'm not, Justin.
Well, we've talked about the brewery incentives, and I understand why breweries have been moving there. But why you guys? Why did you need another location in another state?
Well, I've been in growth mode since starting White Labs. I think Kara would agree. Everything we talk about, White Labs is growing.
Yeah.
And that's a lot more difficult than just kind of staying at a certain size or whatever. And so it takes a lot of planning.
Yeah.
And so in the mid '90s, I just started thinking about where we would put a facility on the East Coast, because San Diego, it's a great city and all of that, but it's one city in the United States, one city in the world, and it's a long ways from a lot of places. So we thought we would have a facility on the East Coast in the beginning. It just took a lot of years for the math to work.
Okay.
So I thought we would even do it earlier, but there's a certain thing about expanding one facility and maximizing that, and even though we never really maximized it in terms of manufacturing, I think we did in capacity.
Okay.
So we originally were looking. I was thinking more northern states, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, kind of traditional manufacturing maybe areas. But as breweries started going to North Carolina and Virginia and other places, we said, well, we got to look at those.
Okay.
And a couple people approached me from Asheville, from North Carolina, actually, at a seminar I was doing in North Carolina, and they said, what about us? And so they really started the discussion.
Oh, okay.
Did you find another street named after some yeast strain?
Yeah. Is there a Candida Street in Asheville?
Unfortunately not.
You can always rename.
You can lobby to change that, yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds, it's South Charlotte Street, so...
okay.
It's pretty sexy.
Yeah. Right?
It's sexier than Candida, I gotta admit.
It's a main thoroughfare kind of in Asheville, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
It's really downtown-ish, on the edge of downtown.
Okay.
So it's a street a lot of people take to get around downtown.
All right. Now, and we're going to talk about this a lot tonight because we have beers in front of us, but the expansion that you guys have been doing is not just in producing yeast, but you're actually a bona fide brewery now.
Right. So a lot of the expansion, as you said, we're doing is to build capacity, whether that's in San Diego, Davis, we started making yeast this year, Asheville for the future, and the Europe things and stuff like that we might talk about. But so that's been a big focus of our energy, is building capacity to make more yeast, to to meet the needs of the craft brewing and home brewing industry and other things. But with that same goal, we started a brewery in 2012 to make beers with different yeast, to talk about yeast, to have an educational kind of tasting room. And I wanted a lot of taps. We did over 30 taps, and I can remember we had meetings about that. The staff said, "Are you crazy?"
30.
And looking back, maybe I was.
But you're crazy smart.
But I really wanted to showcase as many yeast strains, right?
Sure,
so that's maybe 5 or 6 styles of beer. But
well, you could fill them up
yeast.
pretty quick that way.
Yeah. And so we started, with the tasting room first, and a tiny kind of little nano brewery, and just kind of worked it slowly to.
It was like a half barrel brewery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a more beer system. Yeah. You know. And then we expanded it to about 3 barrels by adding some mash capacity and kettle capacity to it. But it was a great little system, and we made 3 barrels at a time, which was fine, but the fermentation wasn't where we wanted because, that's what I talked about a lot in the yeast book. Fermentation is the key to beer's flavor. Sure. And it was more complicated because we take each beer and break it down into 4 different fermenters, so we were trying lots of different temporary types of fermentation systems and things like that. So really, we realized that to make the best beer we could, we needed a modern brewery with larger fermenters.
So you put in a full brew house now. What is it, a 15 or 30 barrel brew house now?
It can be close to 50 barrels, but we do 20 barrel batches of beer.
Okay.
What another long-term vision was to build a brewery that we could make wort for our yeast on and beer for the tasting room. So even before the tasting room idea, the brewery, we knew we would build a bigger brewery in the back. Mm-hmm. So the nano part was always temporary. But it took a lot of time with all the other projects going on and the planning and the engineering to put a brewery together to make very large batches of wort for yeast that goes into a clean room and smaller batches of beer. Okay. So we make these 20-barrel batches of beer, but instead of putting them in a 60-barrel fermenter like a lot of people would do, very economical, you build a fermenter with several batches of beer, we take that 20 barrels of beer and break it down into small 5-barrel fermentations.
Yes. Now, this is where I just want to give our listeners an idea of what we're talking about here. I saw it last time I was at White Labs. Tasty and Doc, you guys would love this thing. I call it the wall of fermentation. You go into the back room that used to have all sorts of things in there, and now it's the main brewery. And then this wall of fermenters that are mounted double. So there's a row on the bottom. Is it 3 rows or is it just 2 rows? I'm trying to remember it now.
It's one row double stacked.
It's one row double stacked.
But it bends around a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a second mini row.
And the first thing is, it's beautiful. Like, it's all hard piped in so that they can just pump the wort into all of these things. And it's a gorgeous piece of engineering. But then it allows you to do these 5-barrel different batches. Are there pictures of it on the website? Do you guys know? I have a picture of it somewhere. There are. But we're not exactly sure where by the look on
the
your face.
internet somewhere.
On the internet somewhere.
The World Wide Web.
I'll find my photos and I'll post it when I post this show, because I took some pictures with Whitey standing in front of it, so you get an idea of the scale too.
Yeah, what a 5 looks like.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah, they're really nice. They're premier stainless fermenters, and
the shape is, are they cinder?
We double
skinny, or
stack
are they
them.
Pretty wide?
They're actually. They're
normal shape.
They're normal shape. Yeah, they're not very skinny because we double stacked them.
I call them pretty wide, Tasty.
That's what I'm thinking. They're going to be the wider kind of.
Yes, I would call them that.
Yeah, a lot of 30 and 60 barrel fermenters I see.
Yeah, and with the limited space, we wanted to double stack them, and they do look great that way. Mm-hmm. Randy Mosher, renowned author, right? And he had something really great to say when he saw them that they look like a submarine.
Yeah,
and I thought that was interesting. He's just an interesting guy, right? Yeah. So he's always got things like that to say, and that was an interesting way to say it. So because it's all kind of all this stainless and this piping stacked in a smaller area, because it's where the brewery is. So where most of the wort we make on that brew house goes into a clean room that most people don't see on the other side of the brewery. The fermenters, since it's the beer side, are right there by the brewery. Mm-hmm. So we had to fit them in there.
Okay.
So that's why it's a pretty nice system. I mean, it's a 4-vessel automated system. We can do 9 brews a day if we wanted to.
Okay. And it obviously makes wort for the yeast side as well. It's not just for...
That's why it's... Yeah. I mean, we don't... For 20-barrel batches of beer selling in one tasting room, we don't have to brew that often.
Right.
Is there any special equipment or handling that's kind of out of the norm for a typical production brewery that you guys do to kind of transfer the wort and keep it extra sanitary for propagation or anything?
Yeah, great question. And that was kind of the challenge, the engineering challenge of trying to put a brewery together to make wort for yeast. So the kettle and the whirlpool are pressure vessels.
Okay.
So we can get above a boil, closer to autoclave temperatures to sterilize the wort. So we can do that in the kettle, but since there's a whirlpool, we have to have the whirlpool also a pressure vessel, and we could turn that off when we make beer because we don't want the kettle under pressure when we make beer.
Right.
We want to drive off the other things like DMS.
So do you use steam for all of the for all the plumbing and everything to sanitize it for yeast production?
Yep. So we have a steam that sanitizes all the lines. So because there's hard piping from the brew house through the wall into the clean room and into all of our reactors, and so all of that hard piping is sterilized by steam.
Okay.
And that's really unique also, is all the hard piping, because one of the bigger issues in a normal brewery is, a lot of the hosing.
Sure. Yeah. Keeping it sterile. Yeah.
Right.
So let's talk about a couple of the beers that have come off of this system, because right now at the Hop Grenade we have 5 White Labs beers on tap. We were trying to figure out if the Hop Grenade is like your first outside beer account, and we think maybe we are, which I'm proud of.
Well, yeah, Kara and I talked about it. We think so because we've done a couple of one-off little things or beer events, but to put them on tap and to sell them to your customers like you're doing here, I think you're the first.
I just forgot about the first.
That's cool.
Oh,
that's okay.
Okay,
just
on
lie.
this system, this is the first.
There we go. It's good enough. Obviously, just lie to me. So here's what we have in front of us, and this is a perfect example of why the White Labs Brewery exists. So we have a couple different versions of basically the same beer. So the first 2 glasses that we have in front of us here is a ESB that you guys produced, and one of them was, and you guys will have to tell me what I know the number, but you tell me what the yeasts are. The first one on your far left, everybody, is the ESB with a WLP 500, and then the one on the right is with WLP 510. So you took the same wort and you put 2 different yeast in it, and this is what you guys like to do. So what is the 500?
The ESB is 005 British Ale yeast.
005. Okay, the first one is 005. So and then what's the second one?
510.
So I got one right. That's why I need a producer. Not that we ever got it. Not that we ever got it right then either.
Right. It's just someone else.
A real producer.
So what is the 005?
It's a yeast from White Lab.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
British ale yeast, highly flocculent, typically used, in this type of style. And so you should taste them.
I did. I had a full pint of that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
What a great ESB.
Yeah. So for the ESB, it's truly remarkable to see really how well suited this strain is for this beer, because it's really, really malt forward in my opinion, but not overly, not sweet, but just really allows that malt to shine compared to the Bastogne, the Belgian yeast.
That's what the 510 is. Yeah, it's not sweet at all. It's a little fruity. I would even say maybe more flowery than fruity, which I really like. But it's not sweet. It's a dry beer. Is it? Do you know if it's Maris Otter as your base malt? You have the.
Oh, you both.
No, just 2 row.
It's just 2 row.
And it's a little bit of crystal.
Okay.
Yep.
Where's the rest of it?
And honey malt. Yeah.
Okay. Where's all that color coming? It's a beautiful color. I guess that's the crystal and
it's a really dark crystal.
And the special B.
Special B will do that.
Yeah, special B. Yep.
I really like this beer. That's the 005 version, a great ESB.
Yeah, they get 80 dark crystal and then a special B. So that'll definitely definitely give you that nice color, that amber kind of deep not deep copper, but yeah, amber kind of thing. Yeah, it looks good.
And then the 510, you can really taste all of those things that I just mentioned, but now with more kind of yeast. I don't know. Are they esters or phenols? I always screw this up. It's phenols. Thank you,
They're
Kara.
gross. I don't like them.
Because you don't like Belgian beer very much.
No, not really.
Neither do I, but I kind of like it with the malt backbone of this beer.
What's the difference between an ester and a phenol?
Kara?
Oh, wow. A lot. So anything we're talking about estery is usually in lower concentrations, usually fruity.
Okay.
So anything that's referred to as fruity is typically an ester, ends in the ATE. In the chemical compound, no one cares.
Right. No, it's not that no one cares.
Organic chemistry.
No one understands. Yeah,
it is way over our heads.
I don't get it.
And then when we
But
talk
not
about
our listeners.
phenols, phenols are some of those medicinal smoke, Band-Aid, and sometimes in lower quantities they can be pleasant, but then when we get a wild yeast contamination, when they're in higher quantities, that Band-Aid character, that's a phenol. But even smoke is a phenol, but is regarded as nice, and
I would give
clove.
I would give this a mild amount of smoke and a mild amount of clove, but I would not give it any of that awful Band-Aid phenol. Not in this beer.
No. That's just what phenols
Just
are
what they-
characterized.
can be.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, and also for this strain, so 510 is probably one of the lesser phenolic Belgian strains.
Okay.
And also adds like a little bit of tartness usually is, and this was one of the strains that wasn't super popular until we opened the tasting room, and we made a lot of beers with this, and people were super stoked on 510, and I think it's now a platinum strain year round. Like, it's available to homebrewers year round.
Okay.
Because of the tasting room using this a lot several years ago.
What commercial beers would be using this yeast? Do we know?
Christopher?
Well, most of that's confidential.
Yeah, I know.
Really,
But I'm pushing it.
I mean, because we're in this weird area where we work with breweries on sort of this confidential basis where they're using an ingredient in their beers, so they want that secret unless we really know them well and we know it's okay.
Yeah.
And we're also doing a lot of analytical testing for them. That's the lab that Kara's running, is the analytical lab. So, if they send us a beer in that's contaminated and they want us to test it, they have to have this confidence that we're going to be confidential about everything.
Sure.
So, a lot of Belgian-style beers are made with it.
Okay. Well, that's what I want to get. Is it just one beer, or is it a region, a style, other than the Bastogne region, but still?
It's several.
Is there widespread?
A lot of people like the strain, yeah.
Commercially, though.
Yeah, commercially. A lot of people like it because it's not as big in the phenols as some of the other strains, or the fruitiness.
I think that's why I like it.
Yeah.
I'm with Kara that I don't generally drink Belgian beers because I don't like strong esters. I don't like a lot of phenols, but this one is pretty moderate.
Okay.
How does the 510 respond to lower or higher temperatures? I know the other yeast do different things at different temperatures. So.
Yeah, a lot of the more wild yeasts that maybe aren't the cultured, like brewer's yeast that don't make phenols, don't really like the lower temperatures because that's kind of a key of brewing yeast. So more yeast from the wild don't do as well in lower temperatures, and that's also why they make the phenols, because they're more of wild strains. And that's what most yeast do, is make phenols, except for our special little brewer strains we use. So any of those that are going to be in that wild category are going to be less adapted to our brewing conditions. So, anything below 65 would be very difficult. But people come to us all the time and say, I use Trappistale yeast at 58 degrees. And other people say it doesn't work. Because it is
attenuation. Or flavor contribution?
Just fermentation speed. So if the temperature's the lower, it's just the temperature, the speed being long and not finishing out.
And what temperature did you ferment this beer at?
These were fermented at, I believe, 68.
Old man fucking white over here.
Where's my glasses?
Here, do you want me to be your eyes?
Isn't this why we have Kara?
Yeah, maybe
Kara's eyes are just about as bad.
Maybe Beardy could be your eyes.
Yeah, hold on, I'll take a look, guys.
I don't think I have that.
When you guys do these yeast experiments,
68. But since now we have the fermenters all under their own temperature control, rather than the little things we were using in the past that some shared different temperatures, so some would be good, some would not be good.
Right.
Now we can do any temperature we want.
Sure.
So I was focusing on the same wort with different yeast when I was talking about it, but sometimes we're doing same yeast, different temperatures. There's a lot of more experiments we could do. The idea of the tasting room is very experimental. Unfortunately, the only place we have those beers available is San Diego. Yeah. So this would be the second place in Concord, California. But we are we've been working for a long time on our tasting room in Boulder, Colorado, which is part of our office there. We've been there over 10 years in Boulder with a customer service office, and that's opening January 22nd.
I didn't know about that. You're putting a tasting room in there too?
Yeah.
Am I going to be invited to the grand opening?
I think this is the first time we've also announced that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, why not? This is Justin's scoop.
Finally!
You got it.
One friend of the show will give me a scoop.
Well,
Finally.
He didn't give it to you. He stumbled. He dropped it.
Yeah, I think this is an accident.
He didn't
He was
mean
trying to
to.
hide it.
Listen,
Well-
I'm not, beggars can't be choosers. I'll take it any way I can get
Tom
it.
at the
Friday.
Celebrator is like, what the fuck?
Actually, my own marketing department might be a little mad because we were going to do a real quiet, soft opening.
Oh.
Did you mention a date?
Oops.
Just say it quieter and then no.
Yeah. But then you say Chris White doesn't go in soft, girl.
We're opening a tasting room in Boulder.
It won't be as soft as you think.
I'm in marketing. I just took care of that for you. Well, that's exciting. And then, of course, the Asheville location is going to have a brewery and tasting room and everything, too, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a similar size to San Diego.
Who's moving to Asheville to take care of White Labs, North Carolina?
This was my question.
Kara Taylor
Kara
is moving.
Taylor moving?
No.
Good.
Work on your accent, girl.
You can't move. Bevo just raised her hand. She's willing to move. And
I'll move.
Hired, done.
Yeah, better I'll do it right now.
Kara's not even willing to go on the cruise.
One
you
of
think
my-
she's going to...
Yeah, I'll go.
one of the Hop Grenade managers in there raised his hand, too, but I don't think they allow Mexicans in Asheville. So he can have to stay with us.
We could call him a Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Oh, then he's allowed. It's fine.
Well, they do, but there's probably no fryer in there, so...
Yeah.
What? Come on! It's not the skill set.
Well, there actually is there going to be like a restaurant and everything at the White Labs Asheville?
Yeah, so
See, then he can go
because the tasting room's bigger. We're gonna have a little restaurant just to, have some food to go with the beer. So I think that's one of the things people say in our tasting room, and maybe more of the tasting rooms that have opened up by small breweries are, it's great to taste the different beers, but have a little food.
We
And
got
so-
that here too.
Yeah.
What are you
We had
doing
to
for
expand
food?
our food
Like-
menu.
We're still working on it.
Cracklins?
But we're going to focus on some of the fermentation things that we do well.
Kimchi.
Yeah.
Okay.
That only kimchi.
That's on there.
8 different kinds of kimchi.
Sauerkraut, lots
of butter. I have a question from Twitter about taxes. I don't know if we want to get too heavy into questions yet, but it seems like an appropriate
as long
time.
as it's not like a long, boring question about taxes.
It's on Twitter.
Can it only be 140 characters?
It's at least 140. Casey Price wants to know if you guys have to pay tax on the beer that you guys make for the yeast.
So we pay tax on the beer we make for the beer, and we have the same license as most people in California that have the same license. And then on yeast, no.
Because it's not beer.
Packaging.
Right. So on the yeast side, we're regulated on the food side. So we're FDA regulated on the yeast side, and on the beer side, right? It's alcohol, and beer kind of regulation. So
okay,
all right,
great question.
So you dump that wort?
Yes. Well, we actually recycle it. So, I mean,
that's tap number 6.
Yeah, we don't recycle it in house, but we don't put it down the drain because it's a lot of liquid. Because 95% of each fermentation, propagation, tractor, whatever you want to call it, is disposed of. Right. So only 5% or so of the fermenter volume is sold as yeast. So that's why it might even look expensive, but it's because it's a concentrated part of a whole large fermenter. And so what we do is we pump that outside to these big tanks we have, and then we fill other tanks that go out to composting. That's how we call it recycling.
Okay. Why not
goes
distill
to
it?
composting?
White Labs Distilling Company.
Hey, you never know.
Okay.
Done.
That might make a great vodka or something.
It's like free alcohol.
Right.
Yeah,
and then you could repower
but there's
the
very, very
whole
little
brewery?
alcohol in it. That's one reason we're not paying tax on it either. So we'd have to have a lot of liquid for a very small percentage of alcohol. But it is very nutrient rich, and that's why it works well for composting.
You should make a gruit.
That is not the next big thing.
No. You sure? Not your father's root beer. Right. Thanks to differ,
Yeah.
dude.
Speaking of distilling, let me just take us on a side path here for a moment.
My car breaks down all the time.
Whitey, Ballast Point. Okay. You
can't sleep at night.
I got to do this. I got to. You grew up with this company. You guys grew up together as companies.
Yeah.
Okay. Your friend Jack and Youssef and Colby just sold their company. Jack just sold his company for $1 billion. What phone call did you make to Jack the next day? What did you say to your new billionaire friend when you found out this news?
Well, I own 49% of the shares, so I was pretty happy. No, a lot of people thought I did own some, but I don't. We're just friends. So I didn't have any when he started the company. I mean, I could have invested like some other people did, but I didn't have any extra spare money. I was starting White Labs at the time. I could have been better off just Ballast Point and relaxing.
Who would have known earlier?
Yeah. But it's. I mean, he's worked a lot on this. He's worked a lot on the future of Ballast Point. They've got really amazing people. That's what kind of separates different breweries, right? I mean, the brands are strong because brands are created by people. And the team they've got there and the way Jack has run the company has been amazing to watch and be part of. We have so many great conversations that kind of help both businesses share different vendors and different things. So I wasn't necessarily surprised.
Tell me you weren't surprised about that number, though. Come on. Really? Did you that valuation did not surprise you?
Well, I knew that was his number, right?
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I mean, I know that in the range, right? Like, different business people joke around about what they would sell a company for. So that was kind of a joke, know.
Okay. Well, that question's coming.
So I think the opportunity they were going to they had already done the S1 filing to go public, and I think Constellation saw that as maybe a good time to get it before they couldn't afford it. So
I see.
I think the valuation is a valuation like that is kind of hard to say. Is it crazy or is it worth it? Because if you look at the present day value, it would take forever to get that back, but of course they're not looking at present day. They're looking at this growth of this company and the strength of getting into craft beer. I think they'll do good with that investment. I think they'll.
I think you're right.
Back.
I'm not actually even insinuating that it's a crazy. Well, I do think it's a crazy price, but not because it's not worth it. I think it's a crazy price because we've never seen it before, and you're right. Now it remains to be seen what it's worth later. Mm-hmm. But I don't. I would have done it if I was Constellation Brands. I think it's fine. So I don't mean that. I'm just still surprised by the number. Have you had a beer with Jack and Youssef since this happened?
Oh, they've been vacationing.
I was going to ask you, has the money already gone to their head? Are they sitting around with, beautiful women on yachts all the time now already?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have that information for you because I've only been in San Diego a few days since that's happened, and they were gone when I was in town.
They couldn't fly to meet you on their private jets to see what you were up to, what their old friend Chris is up to?
Yeah, there's still a lot of work to do, I think, to get this deal done. And
okay,
so they're not answering your call.
So I know them too, and I'm only asking you because I do find it incredible that it happened. I think that they're all lovely people that work at Ballast Point, and they're just now the only people I know that are billionaires. So I find it's a fascinating topic to me.
It was going to be. I was really interested to see how the public was going to go, the public offering, because to see how the investment worked and how it worked for different people. So, the sad part, I think, for me is not getting to see that really close up. Right. But for so many of the employees that have worked there for a long time, and the people who invested in the company early on, I mean, it's great thing for them.
Good for them.
Yeah. That.
What's your number? What's White Lab's number?
1.1 billion, just a one up.
Well, look, if Jack gets $1 billion, I can't settle for less. Right. Who wants to invest in a yeast company, right? For $1 billion. But it's 1.1 now.
It's bittersweet because you'll still be the second one.
Right. Well, just a few years ago, we were bigger than they were, just a number of years ago.
Right.
But they just went through this crazy growth as soon as Sculpin won that World Beer Cup award, and then Jack assembled the current team.
And had the $16 six-pack. It's famous.
Yeah. $18 first.
Invented.
Yeah.
Invented.
I saw it $18.95.
The Constellation brand saw that, they go like, oh yeah, I'll bet it.
Sold.
It's a deal.
These guys can do anything.
Smart.
Yeah, so we just saw them running away, getting larger and larger, and adding more people, and it's been exciting to watch. And I think that's still going to happen. You've talked to different people on this show who've sold and things, and that's that's just one of the business aspects of this industry.
Yeah, they sold for half the price.
Yeah,
and less
for twice as much beer.
Far less.
Yeah,
for twice as much
less.
beer.
Yeah,
I tried to get Ballast Point to sponsor BNA 10.
They don't have money.
They said it was too expensive. And now I'm like, hey, Jack. Fuck you.
Well, they couldn't have asked for the $1 billion valuation if they spent money.
No, good point. They were tightening
supporting you.
They were tightening the purse strings,
right? Yeah,
so that everything was on the up and up.
Well, my opinion on that a little bit is that there's some blockbuster breweries out there, and not many companies want to buy something for a high value. They want a better deal, right? So you find a brewery maybe that's a good match of deal and products and brand and things like that, and so. It looks like Constellation really went after a blockbuster deal and was willing to pay for it.
Well, I think they made the right move. I think Ballast Point is going to be with us for years and years and years. I also think they're going to keep putting out great beer. I think it's one of those, they've done a good job of setting themselves up. So, honestly, I keep joking a lot about the price. I think they got a good company.
Well, I think it's. I'm stoked that a Mexican company is investing in the infrastructure of American jobs.
Yes,
finally.
All right, why don't we do this?
Petros 2018.
I think. Listen, tonight. So
well,
far,
calls your fence.
Good choice running it off.
You're not really going to get. I don't think you're going to get the Latino vote, but you're going to get a vote.
Hey, a job is a job, right? What do you care?
You get a vote.
Yeah, you and your 8 brothers will love it.
I will vote for you.
That's 2 votes.
That's all I need.
2 more than he had a minute ago.
Right?
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got more White Labs beer to try. We've got an IPA in front of us that has 2 different yeasts on it. Good. Plus, we've got a big announcement tonight from White Labs, which I'm excited about because I've been helping them work on this. And Kara and I have been working very closely, if you know what I mean, on this big announcement. So
emailing. Phone calls.
Sometimes we email after 11
Late night
PM.
phone calls. Late night emails.
We even had some video calls. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back with White Labs.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Tampa Bay has become a great destination for craft beer lovers with more than 60 breweries and counting, like Cigar City, Tampa Bay, and Coppertail Brewing. One of the newest breweries is Four Stacks Brewing Company in Apollo Beach. Four Stacks believes that the West Coast can't have all the fun, so while we feature West Coast beer like Stone, Ballast Point, and Green Flash on tap, we also brew hopped up ales to our liking in the West Coast style, even as they're truly Florida. Come in and see for yourself. Four Stacks hosts monthly homebrew club meetings, bottle shares, and partners with local restaurants for free food delivery while you enjoy your pint in their new tap room. Stop by Four Stacks Brewing and support the greater Tampa Bay craft beer scene at a brand new community-oriented independent brewery. Four Stacks Brewing, bringing the best of the West Coast style and attitude. Four Stacks Brewing Company in Apollo Beach, Florida.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite Bare Bones Club, where you'll get the best deals anywhere. Holy shit! NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
If you haven't heard, there's a completely new brand of brewing equipment. Kettles, burners, and accessories. Trustworthy everyday gear that helps you forge and shape outstanding beer the way you want. It's called Anvil Brewing Equipment.
Hi, I'm John Palmer. You may remember me from such self-help books as How to Brew, Brewing Classic Styles, Water, and the Brew Strong podcast. I am very pleased to announce the debut of Anvil Brewing Equipment from Blickman Engineering. I have been working closely with them these past few years to develop products that combine the best of materials, features, and price point. Each of these products has been developed, tested, and reviewed to meet these ideals and bears the Palmer Brewing Solutions stamp of approval on the packaging. Anvil Brewing Equipment, inspired by Palmer, built by Blickman, and made for you.
Check out AnvilBrewing.com. Anvil. Durable, reliable, dependable.
Tuned into this session because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us here on the session. We got White Labs in the studio with us, and we're having a good time. Wanted to remind you about Beersmith brewing software.
Yes.
Go over to beersmith.com right now and get your free 21-day trial of the amazing Beersmith brewing software. Also, they're having a holiday sale on their How to Brew All Grain DVD. You can get the DVD or the online version for $14.95 right now over on beersmith.com. That's the DVD that Brad did with John Palmer, our good friend John over there. So if you're looking for a good gift maybe to give to your beginning brewer friends to take the step to all grain, go over to beersmith.com, get the DVD right now. You can probably just send them a gift link for $14.95. Plus, the brewing software is amazing. You don't have to take my word for it. You can get a free 21-day trial. I would be surprised if the brewer at White Labs wasn't using the Beersmith homebrewing software. I bet he is.
Well, Justin, you took kind of a chance on that.
I did.
Yeah.
But I was right, wasn't I?
We do, actually.
I did not know.
Created with Beersmith right here.
Because it's awesome, I'm telling you. Half the time I can make that gamble and people are having it. Maybe
you are right.
Half. So go
half
check it out.
Half the time's pretty good.
That's right. I'll take it. Go to beersmith.com right now and check it out. All right.
There's a casino on that cruise, right?
Yes, there should be.
And you're sitting next to me, Mr. 50-50.
Gambling. Gonna lose some money on that cruise. All right.
Not just in the casino.
No, and I can't lose Kara's money now because she's not going.
Kara, God damn
it. It's so upsetting, I know.
Why do you hate fun?
Who says I'm not going to have fun in Brazil?
Me.
Facts.
There's like Latin men there.
I know, Kara.
No, there's not like Latin men.
First.
There are Latin men. It's not a like situation. They are there.
Kara chooses her vacations and her work trips based on Latin men being there or not.
Chris is not denying any of that right now.
There's Latin men in Miami. Just saying.
Chris is like, wait, now is there like a brewing scene there at all?
In Brazil?
You're not listening to me, Chris. What I'm saying is that there's a bunch of Latin men there. That's where we're starting.
The only scene that's brewing is in their tight pants.
And they use Beersmith.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Beersmith?
Well, I have been there a few times talking about yeast, and I didn't really notice the men.
You didn't, huh?
No.
Liar.
But the women probably.
Yeah.
The Brazilian women? Oh, my God.
God damn it. I could never go there.
Let's just come with me.
Yeah, when you go?
Cruise
canceled. Oh, no, I can't.
Can we pilot the boat down to Brazil instead of the Bahamas?
I think once we're on that boat, we can pretty much tell it to do whatever we want. We're going to own that boat.
Great.
Click the Labruski Cruise link on our homepage right now. You can go cruise with us. All right, there's a couple things we need to talk about. I want to talk about Pure Pitch and Flex Cell. But before we do that, because we have these beers in front of us, and I don't want them to get too warm, and I want to talk about that, let's talk about the IPAs.
Yeah.
We have two different IPAs that are on tap here at the Hop Grenade, and they're in front of us as well. I think I got this one right. One of them is brewed with Cal Ale.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Just our standard workhorse that everybody loves, the Chico yeast, a lot of people call it. And then the other one is brewed with the Abbey Ale?
Yes.
What number is that?
Abbey 4, so it's WP 540.
540. Okay. So you guys have all had this in front of you. The IPA, good, solid, West Coast American IPA, as you'd expect that Cal Ale would put out.
I even like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you not like IPAs?
No.
Must not be very happy.
It's...
No, it's just not really bitter
It's
forward.
not bitter.
Around 62 IBUs.
No, I like hoppy, but I don't like bitter.
Yeah.
I don't like dead tongue. Yeah.
This one falls in that category. Super dry, as you would expect.
I think this was a great example of just how well 001 can do. Like, sometimes you forget, you get a little crazy, but it's I think this was a good example of just getting back to the basics.
Yeah. Kara, let me ask you this. As the analytical lab manager, and you get sent, as Chris was mentioning earlier, you might get sent samples from some of your clients to test for them. When you get Cal Ale samples, what kind of flaws do you ever find? I mean, it's such a easy to use...
Oh, man, I've seen a lot of things. We deal with mostly when there's off flavors, it's mostly a contamination issue.
Okay.
Occasionally there's some other flukes. I've had a beer that's almost completely solidified, like Jell-O.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Did you determine the cause of that?
No, I think gelatin got in the batch, but I think that was it. But yeah, there's a lot of issues. Mostly, I think it's mostly contamination issues, typically.
Okay.
How often do you have to deal with mutation issues, where it's just kind of going off track?
I don't have to typically do that, but yeah, just sort of as a scientist at White Labs, we have to deal with that a little bit. But that's actually pretty difficult for that to happen. So it really needs a lot of generations. But, we do have customers that use Cal Ale for 200 times, and then they get a new pitch, and they're like, this doesn't taste the same. We're like, well, yeah, I use it 200 times. Like, that is going to... And so it might not be mutations specifically, but there's definitely some changes that are happening here.
But yeast is, being a living organism, and it's growing in your beer, it does mutate, and so that's why commercial brewers usually go 5 to 10 generations, plus or minus of that. But why they're changing is because the yeast is changing, right? The mutations are building up. Contamination could be happening, and it does start to build up. But as Kara said, you can go, a good brewery can go lots of generations with that. But mutations build up. That can happen in the first generation. We've seen that once in a while. So because that's a natural property, it can happen. But generally, it happens after more pitches. And there's the tools of looking at the complete DNA sequence of a yeast strain to say, okay, this base pair in this gene changed is not really there yet, but we're working, one of the other projects we're doing is doing a full genome sequencing of 96 of our yeast strains, and plus another 100 or so strains with this collaboration. It's a big collaboration. It's not just us. So people in San Diego and a lab in Belgium. And we're hoping to publish that in the next few months. And that'll be the first full genome sequencing of all of these different brewers' yeast strains. And then I hope the tools will start to be developed so we can get more of a regular kind of analytical quality analysis of yeast on that whole genome.
So once you can identify the genes that have changed, then you can somehow to say, well, that has some effect on the
right, because there's lots of mutations you would never notice, but also brewer's yeast has built up multiple chromosomes. So that polyploid nature is one of the great things about brewer's yeast. So if there's a mutation in one gene, there's 3 or 4 or so other genes that are going to make that protein product, so you won't see the mutation.
Right.
And then for every thing, there's 1 or more genes involved. So a flavor compound might be one gene that makes an esterase.
I see.
Flocculation might be several genes.
So you'll be able to go way beyond to saying, well, there's some things have changed in the yeast, but you'll be able to go beyond that and say whether they're actually hurting the flavor or the attenuation power or whatever. Everything.
Yeah, and if someday in our future you could use that as a tool to see how your yeast is doing, you would see those mutations building up and say, hey, I don't have to change the pitch right now. I can go a few more generations. Or, hey, I better change now because for whatever reason it's under some stress or just mutated.
I was wondering, are there anything about say you are in 20th generation or something? Is there any value or of course with your kind of testing you're talking about, there might be where you could take some of that and actually add that back to a fresh pitch? That there's things about.
Yeah, so we have a lot of brewers that make them their proprietary strains.
Uh-huh.
And, we have tons and tons of proprietary strains from brewers, which obviously haven't been isolated from random parts of the world. They're just mutations have happened, and then they decide to store that yeast because they loved it. Yeah.
But I think, Tasty, adding a little bit of the old culture back, you don't see that too much because people are, because we're not working in sterile environments and contaminants are there. People are afraid of that. But again, it's a little bit more based on practice than real knowledge, right? Because often we don't know if there's contaminants. Even if we can plate it, there's other contaminants that are lower a level that you would know through PCR or something else. And we are still building those tools into our brewing repertoire, and so it's one of those things that I kind of talked about. I think it's easy to get into brewing right now and say we know everything about brewing science and yeast, but people in 1880 thought the same thing.
Sure.
Whenever you're in a time and place, you think everything's known, right? Yeah. So I think there's so much more we're going to learn about yeast and our whole brewing science that will change the way we're doing things over the next years.
What we knew 5 years ago and what we know now is proof of that.
With the sequencing getting complete, are you being able to label which specific genes create phenols, which make the yeast create phenols versus not, to where you could kind of start combining, essentially making GMO yeast to start combining the best attributes?
Well, we'll certainly know that when we do the full genome sequencing, where the phenol genes are and what we already have learned a lot that is really exciting about that we haven't published yet, but we're working on that manuscript and still finishing a lot of the experiments. But to me, that doesn't mean we're going to make different yeast from GMO. I want to know more about yeast, right? So we want to do the science part of it, and then I don't know what happens with that information. I mean, I wouldn't even want to predict it because I think it's things we can't even think of right now.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen with it. And it might be not through GMO. It might be through breeding. It might be just through a way to handle yeast better so we can make certain things happen the right way.
So how far away are we from the first test tube yeast?
Good question.
Well, they've been made.
Yeah, they're already done.
Because you can design your own yeast.
Have they been made at White Labs or just from other?
Yeah, didn't we report on a story where there was a yeast that could basically break up the THC or something like that for making potentially weed beer? It was a couple of years ago.
Doesn't sound familiar. I was stoned. So.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But
anyways,
think about it. We think we know everything now, but pretty soon it's going to be order your yeast.
Right.
And,
well, a lot of people don't. So there have been GMO yeast made, and they haven't been used in commercial beer production. And maybe that's because they haven't added that much value, right? They do something minor. But maybe if they did more things, it'd be worth that.
Like ferment 4 hours, flock like a ton of bricks.
Oh my God! You want to sell your company for $1 billion?
That's how you get $1 billion.
Call
you come up
Constellation
with
Brands
a
already.
4-hour
Yeah.
yeast.
I love the fact that the yeast we use are developed not in the lab but by brewers over time. And so really from nature, and the fact that brewers over hundreds of years have made these strains. So there is no test tube yeast right now, and I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be a little sad if that changed. Actually.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it
now,
will
these,
one
these
day.
two IPAs, did they both finish about the same gravity? Do you have an idea of that? I don't know if the brewer...
No,
who's your brewer? Who made these beers?
So
by the
Joe Korowski is our brewer.
Oh, cool.
The IPA with California ale yeast was around 7% and 8% on the other one. So they didn't finish the same.
A little bit different. Yeah, I thought so. And I assume the Belgian beer was higher or lower? What would you guess? The Belgian strain versus the...
The Belgian strain is a little less attenuative.
It's less attenuative.
540.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Less attenuative.
Cal Ale
each
goes
Belgian
real
strain
dry.
is different, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Cal Ale is dry. Cal Ale was fermented a little lower in temperature, around 68, and then after about 8 days raised up, where the 540 was fermented at 72 and then raised up from there.
I see.
It's also a little stickier than most Belgian yeast. Doesn't stay in solution or suspension, I should
And
say.
all the hops got in their way.
This is the first. This is a brand new IPA, and so we have been staying around 6.5% on our IPAs to try to have a little bit. Most of the San Diego IPAs and elsewhere are 7.5% and above. So this is the first time we've made one that's a little towards that range. Yeah. But it's dry hopped with and all of those things that IPAs are, and still, I mean, I think you guys tasting it can say there's quite a big yeast difference.
Oh, yeah.
By sure.
Yeah.
And even when you're looking at different ale strains of similar ale strains, you see those differences, and that's why we do 4 of each beer.
One of my staffers here at the Grenade came in. I was asking how the White Labs beers are, and he talked about the 2 IPAs. And with the Abbey, he's like, "Oh, it's like a full-on Belgian beer." He got some cotton candy out of it. He got some bubble gum out of it. He got just the full range of the Belgian things you might expect. And now that I'm tasting it, I agree. It's such a different beer just by using a different yeast.
Yeah, and the IPAs are, with all those hops, they're good with all those different yeast strains. And I actually took all I said, so we change the menu every few months. And last year I said, we're not going to make any IPA over the holidays. So about a year ago, let's just do Belgian strains. And people, White Lab said, Chris, IPAs are number 1 selling beer. Why are you going to do that? But it's not about the sales in the tasting room, really. I'm like, I think other brewers listening might agree. Like, you put an IPA on, and it's your best-selling beer, but no one's drinking the other stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So I had to take the IPA off so people would drink the other stuff.
Interesting. And you're so justified to do that. Brewers must envy you because that's your model. It makes sense.
Right. And we added it back on after a while because people really get angry.
Sales are sales.
Yeah.
Later that afternoon, it came back on.
It's probably not just sales. Like you just said, people get pissed. They're like, "Where's that?"
Actually, get angry.
You made it come back. Like, last time I went there.
And you don't want that. Yeah, you don't want to upset the customer. So I could see you having to cave for that one.
Well, that's what business is like. You're a slave to your customer.
Let's talk real quick about FlexCell and Pure Pitch. All right. Now, this was announced over a year ago, and I know there's a lot of information out there about it. You can go to whitelabs.com, and there's some videos about it, a lot of FAQ. You can learn all about this process. What I want to talk about is that you have recently, now homebrewers can get this new technology, right?
Yes.
Like Cal Ale, for example. Is Cal Ale now entirely in the new Pure Pitch packaging?
Well, yes. California Ale had to be the first one, right?
Yeah.
It's history, its position. It's our most popular yeast strain. Even though we make so many, it's not the majority of our sales or anything like that. But it's the biggest one we make. So it had to be the first.
Okay.
And then we keep adding other strains. As that capacity for us grew, So now it's majority of our yeast strains to home brewers are available in pure pitch.
Okay.
We try not to go back to vials once we're in pure pitch because the stores get very upset at us when we do that. So we're in this position of working mostly with the retail stores, some distributors, and then some direct sales. So we have to be cautious of all these channels and what their needs are, and that's one of them. That if we go into pure pitch and then it shows up in vials, it can be confusing from a retail perspective. So that's why we've been kind of cautious as we've moved through the yeast strains.
Okay.
For commercial breweries, we went to pure pitch over a year ago, and most of the strains are there unless people ask, for it in a different package. We do custom things for breweries.
What's the feedback you're getting?
Feedback has been great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are people noticing the increase in viability and the zero contamination?
Yeah, I mean it has a different convenience. So some people don't like it, and it's mainly because it's the same with commercial brewing and home brewing. It doesn't have a cap you can unscrew, and you've got to cut it.
Okay.
But I think the majority has been very positive because of so many aspects. There's the recycling aspect, the sustainably part of not using as much chemicals and other things, and a part of the very vessel that we grew the yeast in is now used for the packaging because it's encased in that. There's no chance of contamination. In fact, the lot samples are not a random sampling of packaging because there's none. It's part of the very same package that you heat seal off a bunch of units, and one of them is going to the lab for QC testing.
Okay.
Actually, even before that part happens. So, and then the yeast. The physiology of the yeast has been so much better by growing it. We'd already been growing in the film for a while, but then when you keep it packaged in there, the CO2 is released. There's no packaging. When you package a beer, it's beat up through the filler. It's oxygen hurts the beer. Same thing with yeast. And so by avoiding that filling and packaging process, the yeast health is a lot higher when it's sealed in there. And then it breathes out the CO2, and so the viability and vitality has been a lot higher over time, which has helped us because we are selling yeast in different places of the world now. So that is definitely helpful that it survives longer.
Sure.
It's also more concentrated.
Yeah, right, because we're not going through a filler. There's a certain viscosity. We've always had a very, very high cell count in terms of the cells per mil, in our package. It's very hard to achieve that cell to liquid ratio that we have, but we were able to do that through a lot of hard work. Now we can do it by sealing the yeast in there without having to
there wasn't any more room in the vial for it, right? You couldn't get it. It was hard enough to get that out in general.
I see. So to keep it so you can move the product into the vial itself, and then to be a certain slurry. Yeah. Now you can almost move a solid into the packet.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But now I have to buy test tubes now. I can't just reuse those vials for all my home experiments that I'm doing.
Yeah, or like to keep your weed.
Your roaches?
What is everyone?
Exactly.
All everyone says is they have to keep
I
their
love
weed
it.
somewhere else.
I grind my shit up and put it right in there. It's
Put it
fucking
into the
amazing.
old-
You can't break it.
Well, they'll always be around. I think the old White Labs vials. I don't mean that you'll always sell them. I mean there are so many of them sold that they will
Right.
always be around.
Yeah.
You're always going to be able to find one. For
I got a
every-
garage full, so
Yeah,
They're like a Volkswagen Beetle. It's never going to be.
Always, yeah.
You can buy them by the lot on eBay.
Well, there might be some yeast we still keep in that vial. We don't know yet
In
on some
10
of the
years, we'll
blends.
do an old school
We do have a
packaging.
trademark on that vial, so
vintage blend that you have to put back out in the vial.
Yeah, and just a plug, Customer Club will still be happening. That seems to be a very big concern. Same thing, you just don't have to store plastic vials. Now you just have to send in the pure pitch.
There you go.
Yeah, real easy.
And the Customer Club has been updated in recent months. There's all sorts of things that you can trade in your vials and your pure pitch packages for, there's a bunch of cool stuff over there on White Labs. If you're not in the Customer Club, you should go over to whitelabs.com right now and sign up for it. And you get access to things that nobody else does, like the announcement that we're going to make tonight. Customer Club members already know about this thing. They got first dibs on it. And so it's free to become a Customer Club member. So lots of reasons to go sign up for that.
And you get cool shit.
And you get cool shit. Like members-only jackets. Do you get that kind of cool shit?
No, but I'm writing
White
that down
Labs
right
branded
now.
members-only jacket.
She's lying. She's not writing shit down. She's taking a sip of beer.
What's new?
She's just drinking, as always. All right, and then one last beer to talk about, and then I think what I might do is have us take a break, and we'll come back. We need to get Mike White in here for our special announcement tonight. So the last beer that we have on tap here at the Hop Grenade from White Labs is the Franken Stout, which is fermented with what? What yeast is this?
96 yeast strains. Not one, not two, not 10, but 96.
No. This is a joke.
It's like the dump bucket at the
There are actually 96 yeast strains in this beer?
There are 96 yeast strains in that beer. That number might sound familiar from what I said from our DNA sequencing project.
I only taste 91, maybe 92.
Wow. But there really
94
is
was slacking off in
96 because that's what we picked for the project. And so we said, let's make a beer with that mixture.
Wow.
And then we made several different types of beer. We did amber, we did red, we did different
I
things.
was wondering.
But the stout was where it really shined because you've got such a complex microbiology going on there. All these microbes competing for the carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting the flavors they make. And we repitch and repitch and repitch. And we've saved all of those samples from each generation. So when we have some better technology in the future, we can say exactly what's going on with the culture over time.
All right.
I've only tasted 94. I think 2 got out.
There's
So
cider
this is
strains in
obviously-
there, wine, beer.
Oh, wine.
No Brett.
Cider?
Like a Red Man chewing tobacco.
Oh, really?
like
Interesting.
whole leaf, none of that shredded bullshit that all the fucking flat bill
Like full
douchebags.
on-
So it reminds you when you were
like
12.
a plug of right? Yeah, like sweet.
Yeah.
But that kind of tobacco thing. There you go, Chris. Get it.
So-
Maybe I'm
Chris-
chewing. I don't know.
Can I, Whitey? We're friends.
It's not in a
right?
bad way. It's not in a bad
So
way.
I don't like this beer.
I don't like it either. It's fine.
I think I enjoy the experiment.
The experiment.
Sponsorship over.
I know, right? But I don't know what it is, and
So there's a heavy phenol note to it.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
me, that bothers me a
phenol
lot.
people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's phenols
But
are great in
I think the cool
cool
part.
little amounts.
Yeah.
Let me finish.
All right.
Okay, so this is the story of my life. So the thing about that though is that immediately you think a Hefeweizen strain or a Belgian strain has taken over. Maybe it's outcompeted some of those other strains, but really those the threshold detection for us is much higher, right? Like we only need a little bit of that to be able to detect it.
I see.
And so really just some of those compounds might be just competing over the other flavors and it might not specifically be
The yeast.
some of the yeast.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something that will be interesting once we are able to look at that in terms of what strains are actually competing, because I think there's a little bit of banana going on.
Very Belgian-y.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned you've used it in some lighter gravity yellow
Yeah.
beers. What do those taste like? That, to me, those would be more revealing.
That's why we're drinking the stout.
Well, stout would be covering.
Were really successful.
They were much more phenolic.
Well, as Justin says, we do a lot of experimentation, and I think those, they were just a little too phenolic and maybe weird. But this is a 9% beer with a lot of chocolate malt and other things, but still super dry because all these things just, the non-great brewer's yeast doesn't mind some of the complex carbohydrates, and they consume them. So.
And we also don't make this from the first propagation every time. We just keep reusing it. So it changes a lot.
Yeah, if one propagates better than the other, you're going to be dominated by that yeast.
Did you guys pick wine yeast that wouldn't inhibit like the other beer yeast contribution? Yeah,
No
because there can be
yeast,
killer yeast. So you didn't include those?
We tried not to.
Oh, okay.
But they got
and you do have to wait on the sequencing to kind of figure out what yeasts in particular kind of grew at different rates? Oh, okay. So we have years to wait to know.
Yeah, and that'll be a fun project in the future.
Yeah, good to know.
Did you push this through the gas chromatograph? to see really,
You push it all through the gas graph.
That's Kara's favorite thing to do.
Well, because she just sings "Push It" real good in her head
every time. I've actually been in the lab when it's happening, and they all sing and dance to.
Can we get the printout?
Email going out now.
Yeah,
I'd like to get the printout so we can map why Justin doesn't like this.
I was wondering if with your new genome sequencing you can map what happened to JP. If we take a swab of his cheek, like, will you be able to tell us where shit went wrong?
Hey, where you're swabbing,
I can tell you. I can tell you exactly where it went wrong.
Yeah, but that's
What
no fun. I want the
gene are you
doctor to
missing?
tell me.
True. That's all right.
It's the gnome part.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what I want to do. I want us to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the brand new project that's been happening at White Labs that's being unveiled tonight. We're scooping. This
In
is
a veil of secrecy, except for the other people that already know it.
Right. Except for the customer club.
Yes.
But that's okay. You have to have a focus group, and I'm all right with that.
I gave you a scoop.
You gave me a scoop. Whitey, thank you.
I want a new segment called Justin's Scoop.
Why
would
does
never
he-
happen.
Why is he the only person in this industry that has any respect for me? Everybody else is like, oh, he's fun to hang out with, whatever.
Well, you're never going to get
that.
the nickname Scoop Crosley.
You know, Justin, actually, I tried to talk our company into having tonight be the unveiling to everybody about this project.
Yeah.
And I was told, well, Justin said, you should go to Customer Club first. So you talked yourself out of the scoop.
That's true. I did say it should go to the customer club first. I did. That was before I knew you were going to launch it on my program.
Or pull the sponsorship.
I have to wear two hats. In some ways, I look out for White Labs, and sometimes I'm looking out for the BN. So still. Other than the customer club, who deserves first dibs, and they got it, the rest of you are going to get the scoop tonight.
Oh, I'm in the dark. I don't know what you're talking about.
It involves $1 billion.
You got to do this though. You got to put your finger right there. And go, $1 billion.
All right. So here's what we'll do. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to get Mike White in here to help us talk about the new White Labs project that we're all very excited about. Then we're going to do some Find the Fake a little bit later.
Yes.
And all sorts of stuff with White Labs. Hang in there. It's the session.
Listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
With over 20 years of experience making world-class craft beer and more than 100 gold medals in international competitions, Moylan's Brewing Company is not just a pretty face in craft beer. Just ask Brendan Moylan.
What do we got here? The beer of the hour. Moylan's, gotta love that big M. It's like a sign of awesomeness. Woo-hoo! It's got an extra kick to it. Let's pour this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Moylan's. The end of the night when the kids are finally in bed, the wife's in bed, nobody's bothering your ass anymore. That's Moylan's time. Moylan's is for you. Yeah. It's to help you out. Yeah. It helps me out. What? Well, because it's freaking awesome. Northern California brewed. It's brewed with love. With love? Oh, yeah. Tremendous. And it's always best where? Moylan's. You gotta try it. On tap at Moylan's in Novato. They're friggin' awesome. Not only because I own the brewery, because I love the beer.
Cheers!
Boom.
Kilt Lifter Scotch Ale takes big beers to a whole new level with rich malt balanced perfectly with delicate hops, and now comes in 4-pack tall boy cans so you can take the party on the go. Or come to the brewery, take a tour, and try any of Moylan's fresh creations right from the source. Check them out at moylans.com.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that Hop Tech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. Hop Tech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com. Say hello to my little friend. You've heard about White Labs Pure Pitch yeast. Pure Pitch is yeast grown right in its final packaging. That means yeast that has never been exposed to the environment. And White Labs Pure Pitch yeast for homebrewers is now available to everyone at homebrew retailers nationwide. Easy to use, perfectly sized, and ready to pitch. White Labs yeast packaged using their Flex Cell process ensures the purest yeast on the market. Visit whitelabs.com to learn more about Pure Pitch, Flex Cell technology, and how it's created. Then visit a homebrew retailer near you for your own perfectly sized package of Pure Pitch yeast. And you can say hello to your own little friend. www.whitelabs.com.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
Welcome back to the program, everybody, and thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Boy, do we have a busy show.
We do. We have a lot of stuff to do.
We have a lot of stuff to do. Whenever White Labs is here, there's a lot of stuff to do. I want to thank our wonderful friend and amazing local chef, Rachel, who brought us food tonight. Another amazing meal. She brought us shepherd's pie tonight, and I realized... white people really like shepherd's pie. It's like as soon as I found out that shepherd's pie was coming, something happened inside of me.
You
like
got really happy.
Like a happiness came out of me because shepherd's pie is one of my favorite foods on earth, and I realized it's because I'm white. It's like this hodgepodge of potatoes and ground beef and vegetables.
White people invented it. It should speak to you.
It's a white trash thing, but it's such it's like a comfort food. I feel so much better now that I ate that. Rachel, thank you for bringing us wonderful food. You can find Rachel down at the Growler in Danville, California, and she's a chef there full-time and then makes us food here on Monday nights, and she's just great at it. So she's going to be doing some beer and food segments with us from time to time, so you'll hear more from Rachel as the weeks go on. But thanks again for some wonderful food. And she's feeding our staff here at the Hop Grenade, too, because she makes so much food, and we have leftovers, and then my staff doesn't have to go buy awful food at midnight when they get out of here, too.
Yeah, the invoice
cool.
she sent me was like, I'm bringing shepherd's pie for 8, and I was like, you mean 30.
Yeah, it's always for 30, but she's just wonderful, and it's great food. So thank you for doing that. We're still here with White Labs, and it's time for our big announcement, I think. We got Mike White now in the studio. The White brothers have decided to go full Kenny Rogers. I don't know if you've noticed that if you've been watching the show on camera, they've got Kenny Rogers beards together, the two of them. I don't know.
Well, I'm about ready to fold them.
Do you guys have to call each other and say what you're doing when you do the exact same things, or does it just happen naturally? Because you both came in here, and I'm like, really? Did you guys just go, hey, don't forget to grow your beard out, Mike. We're going to be together at the show.
I saw him a couple weeks ago, and I thought, oh, boy, he looks a lot like me.
They're fiercely competitive.
So
fiercely.
Oh.
Also, Mike, you're slimming down quite a bit. What's the new diet?
Well, it was that plus the beard. His girlfriend gave me a kind of a funny look. So I think that's when Chris said, I need to go to the beard, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, why? And, because he thought maybe Jamie was going to become more attracted to you?
Maybe. It's very competitive.
It's been known to happen. Mike White's a very handsome young man.
He is. Yeah. Yes. Seriously, though, you've lost, 10, 15 pounds?
I lost 20, then I gained a few back. So it's a constant struggle.
Mike is the epitome of I just stopped drinking beer every day. I just drink it 5 days instead of 7. And
Are you still
pounds.
on the every other day plan?
I experiment with different programs.
I know you do.
I'm in the middle of the various programs.
The time he became a vegetarian and only ate cheese. Only cheese.
Wait, let's talk about that diet.
I could do that. I could get in with that one.
Yeah. I understand why people are vegetarians now.
What's the current diet, Mike? What's your current plan?
They're insane.
It's on hold.
It is?
We'll be back when the holidays are done.
I see.
I hear if you drink beer before noon, you don't get as many calories.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a whole time sun scale thing.
Right, yeah.
I'm on the same thing. Every day I stop drinking beer because eventually you pass out and go to sleep.
And then it's a new day.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking beer from about 8 a.m. to noon every day.
Right.
Every day. Most days.
Okay, most
Except
days.
this morning.
Weekdays.
We're not going to count on some days.
Yeah.
Right? No.
Saturdays and Sundays don't count.
I've seen it.
Yeah. All right. So let me set this up a little bit. Now, White Labs has been working on this program, and as far as I understand it, the idea is to bring your customers the yeast that they want in a more efficient way, in a better way. For years, we have been promoting the platinum strains of White Labs yeast. And that was a program where the staff at White Labs picks out some of their various yeast that they don't produce all the time, and they put out a new one quarterly so that us homebrewers and pro brewers could get to use something new in your repertoire. But I think that over the years, you guys found that you really wanted to give access and control more to your customers than you guys deciding what the platinum strains are. Am I close so far about where this new idea came from?
Yes, I always knew there would be something better than the platinum program, which only released a couple different strains every few months. And we have this big yeast bank with over 500 yeast strains. That's something people always ask us. But we make 100 or so every week, which is a big number.
That is a big number.
Microbiology company making yeast. Most baking yeast companies make 2 or 3 or something like that. And we make over 100 every single week. But there's still so many we don't make, and so many that might not qualify for great performance for commercial breweries. To maybe to qualify for us to make.
Okay.
So that kind of thinking led to this. How can we release some of those yeast strains, those great historic yeast strains we have, without making a big batch and then trying to sell it, and it would be bad before, the viability would go down or whatever before people even knew it was available.
People might not want it.
Right.
Yeah. And you also, it's this bank of yeast that nobody even knows that you have, too. I mean, it's kind of a secret collection of stuff that you've had either over the years or some of it maybe you've even acquired recently, but none of us know that you even have it. So we don't even get to tell you, hey, I want X yeast, because we don't know that it exists in some cases.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, they're sitting there too, and they're not performing. They're not doing anything.
They're
not in the field. They're not mutating. They're not mutating into something even better, because they're not being used.
Right.
Can you guys deep freeze Beardy for me, just for a few years? I'm thinking that maybe he'll come out the other side when the world will have caught up with him.
Maybe I can see better.
Yeah.
Kara,
can you
next
get
to
on
Walt
that?
Disney?
Yeah. Can we just put him in your cryogenic freezer?
I kind of want a beardies, though.
You do? This is not unprecedented.
Not personally, just for everybody else, though,
I see.
I tried a couple of times. My hygiene is too good.
Oh.
At Heretic, I was plating stuff, and I couldn't get much to
Really?
grow, actually.
We've got a lot of candidates here.
I would drive with the windows open past Budweiser, hoping to get some lager yeast, but no luck.
You have to hang your head out the window like a dog.
Oh.
Yeah. Try that
I didn't
next
do
time.
that.
Yeah. All right. So what you guys have come up with is the vault. And the vault gives us access to this bank of yeast, this list of unknown yeast. But not just that, it allows us to vote for which strain you produce next, right? The idea is that the customers of White Labs, my listeners, anybody really who's interested in yeast can go to the White Labs site, the new part of the White Labs site called The Vault, which is available on the homepage right now. If you go to whitelabs.com, there's a rotating banner on the top, and you'll see a big, giant image come up that says The Vault, and you can click on that and get an idea of what we're talking about here. And you've now given control of what the next special strain to come out is now in my hands. It's now in the listeners' hands. It's now in the customer club's hands, right?
Yes, you said it very well. It's exciting to talk about it here because it was an idea over a year ago, and we spent the last year working on it. And you described it great. And Kara here was the project manager on that.
She did a great job.
She did a fantastic job. It was a very difficult job to create something new
I only
like
cried
this.
like 3 times.
There was a lot of crying at White Labs.
A lot more than that.
Hey!
Well, everyone believes in the product so much, and then Whitey can be such a dick, and then you guys cry a lot.
Yeah, they just
and keep in mind, Kara volunteered for this
to take this project on.
She said, "That sounds interesting. I'll take it on." And it was a little bit of lots of battles, lots of things we had to try to figure out, and she just kept charging through. Mike was in charge of the technology side and getting it to work on the website, and so he might talk a little bit about that here, and I'll let them to describe it to you more.
So, everybody, go to whitelabs.com right now and click on the banner that comes up that says Visit the Vault, and then you're going to get a full look at what we're talking about. And, Mike, right now, there are how many strains available for us to essentially cast our vote for?
There are about 25, and there'll be a lot more coming out as we go along. We'll continue to open up our vault. These are strains that Kara has selected as some of the better ones from our yeast bank and some of the ones that may be more interesting, including a lot of ones that we created through blends to showcase some of the strains that have been popular, such as those that we've used in our tasting room, and wild yeast and bacteria blends and strains. So she'll get into more of that conversation, but I wanted to not lose focus on using this opportunity. We waited to talk about it publicly until we came here.
Thank you.
Because of our great relationship with the Brewing Network. And we also we did have a few customers come through last week, and that's helped us fine-tune some things. But now it's ready for all of you, and it's also available at yeastvault.com if you just want to hit that directly.
Okay. So people can go to yeastvault.com right now. There are 25 strains. For example, WLP 75 Hansen Ale Blend. Kara, what is the Hansen Ale Blend?
Hansen Ale Blend. So that was a blend that we started in the tasting room. We thought it would be really fun to make blends that no one could order and use them in the tasting room, and then you couldn't buy it. And then it was like, why? That's not very fun because
that is fun.
Well, I mean, for us to like point and laugh, we're like,
right.
You can't get this. So we decided to bring some of those strains that did well, those blends that did well, to the table. And you might also notice that for some of these blends, we're a little bit more open about some of the blends because really the word Hansen, what is that doing for you? But we named all of our
that means
blends
there's probably
after...
at least 3 of them.
So the Hansen Ale Blend is not from the Hop beer that the Hansen brothers made.
No, but that would be great. I want that yeast also.
Yeah. And how does it work? So that's just one example. There's a new Nordic yeast blend on there.
Yeah, that's one of the sexier ones for sure. There's
Is
a
it?
picture of Tolls Prowl on there. Yeah.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah, that's actually one of the ones that I'm really most excited about. Tolls he isolated a lot of those strains off of some apples in Denmark, and we've had them for several years, and finally this was the right opportunity to bring this to our customers. And this summer in Copenhagen, several breweries use that strain and different styles of beer. It was actually the opposite of what we do. We do the same style with different yeast, but there we did the same yeast but different beer styles, and to see how that was sort of expressed. And so this was a really cool opportunity to bring some things that are more unique. And we also thought, I think this is a good way for customers to get these strains, because there's a lot of pressure for homebrew stores to carry all of our hundreds of strains, and they don't all have the fridge space, and
sure.
And also sometimes you don't always live near an area for that to happen. And so I thought that this is a great way to have some of these more rare strains that maybe stores wouldn't be interested in carrying, but there's some people out there who want them.
How's this going to work as far as we vote on it? And
so you actually pre-order it. So you pre-order the strains. And then your credit card's stored, and then once it hits 250 orders, which is basically 250 pure pitches, then we make it in production, and then it gets shipped to the customer.
So you're basically casting your vote by pre-ordering, right? But you're not charged. If for example, you choose, let's just say the most random yeast of the 25 right now that you guys have put up, and some of our Beer Geek listeners are like, oh yeah, that's the one I want, this weird one. But maybe it never reaches 250. They're never charged. They've cast their vote, but they're never charged, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But if 250 people vote by storing their credit card, pre-ordering, you guys will guarantee to make that yeast, and it will show up at people's door?
Yeah.
You ship it to them?
Yep, ship it directly.
Do you give them a little bit of notice?
Yes, no.
I could be
Yeah, there's definitely some communication involved.
I'm getting my yeast, and oh boy.
No, definitely some communication involved. Yeah, and the weird thing is that I think this is a great opportunity for people to tell us what they want, because right now, so that it's listed in the top strains that are being ordered, and I added German Lager X on there as like for a buffer. We've had it for some time. It hasn't done very well because it's just lagers are hard sometimes, and it's number one. I don't know, like maybe there's some form out there that I don't know about German Lager X, but that was the last strain that I anticipated being number one. So I think that's a great sign that like you guys are telling us what you want versus me telling everyone else what I want.
What you want. Yeah. So right now, strain number 23 on the list, Belgian lager yeast. Nobody wants it so far.
I know.
Nobody. And I thought that would be one that people would go for.
Yeah,
but
no.
So far, what's cool is that if you go to the website, you show how many orders are left until that one is fulfilled. Yeah. So this just launched pretty much privately to the customer club last week. Okay. And so you can kind of see how the customer club has been voting, and now the rest of you can go in and take a look and actually sort of play along and follow what's going to be made.
It's like crowdsourcing yeast.
Right?
Yeah.
It is.
And you could be that guy that clicks it over. You wait until like you're the one that gets it ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah, German. Now, does the order on the website changes based on how many times it's been pre-ordered?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Based on the
because right now the number one, like you said, is German Lager X. It's the first one I see. It has the most orders. If number two, the Hansen Ale Blend, were to have more orders, it would move up on the website.
Yeah, that just jumped up this weekend. Cool. I logged on today.
Yep. Right when you order.
Yeah.
It will change.
It will change. Okay.
That will be deducted, and there'll be fewer orders needed to get to that level. Yes.
I kind of like the competition aspect of like people being able to team up and choose their favorite yeast to get it made.
Or a home brew club could say, hey, let's all get this yeast and make this unique beer and see what it tastes like.
Yeah, I think that's already happening. I'm sort of watching that happen a little bit. Yeah.
All right, the Brewing Network Homebrew Club, arguably the largest homebrew club in the country.
Arguably.
I think you should go to whitelabs.com right now or yeastvault.com right now, and maybe you guys want to get together and decide which one we want to see made. And I think the Brewing Network ourselves could dictate the next White Labs yeast to come out of this.
We don't push enough things around.
Right,
we don't throw enough weight around.
Yeah. And now, really, multiple strains could be made in any given week, right? If people voted 250 of 3 of these strains, you'd make all 3, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And you might imagine one of the most difficult things we have at White Labs is the logistics of yeast production and planning what strains to make out of those 100 strains. There's all these reactors available, space, and what strains are we going to make? So this helps us plan based on what people want.
Yeah.
So as long as we know, we can plan that in. And that's what we're doing here. And it's more than voting. It's kind of voting with your credit card because it's just more certain,
Yeah.
Because if it's voting, I think they'd be up those numbers already, but we wouldn't really know we were going to sell those.
And if it was just voting, we could have done this 6 months ago, but he wanted it to be real. So,
yeah. Well, and I think it's important to just say again that you're not charged unless the yeast is going to be made, unless
Right.
250. So you are voting with your credit card, but it's not as if the money has been spent.
And you can go on there, as you can see, as you said, you can see the tallies going up, and then you get an email when it reaches the number, and then you're told when your credit card's being charged, and you're then told when it's going to ship, which is a few weeks after it reaches that number, a few weeks after we start production.
So do you have a expiration date on the vote, the order? I mean, if I put something in and I'm waiting for mine to come up and it's 9 months later, does it roll over or do we keep it going?
We don't know that one yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, credit card numbers are going to expire.
That answer. That will happen.
So there's that, yeah. But that's a good point.
Just customer service issue.
You might have to take a look. So if number 23 here or whatever it is that nobody's voted for, if after 3 weeks Belgian lager yeast is still sitting at no votes, you might swap it out with another strain.
So we didn't set a rule on it yet, and that's why I said we don't know, because we want to figure some of these things out. But we're going to be adding new yeast strains, as Mike said. We want to start with not too many to confuse people, but we have so many in the bank we want to add in there. So I can see adding some and taking some off.
Yeah. Okay.
Live and learn. That's it.
I love it. I think it's just a cool way to crowdsource what yeast we're going to get next. Are the platinum strains still going to be part of White Labs, or does this now take place of the place of that?
For 2016, the platinum strains will stay there because the stores are expecting to get them. But I can see this that rolling into this.
Okay. Now, once us individuals have voted for a while, right? Let's say it reaches 250 on the German Lager X, next week. Do the stores get the opportunity to vote and order their own 250 vials? Or sorry, not vials. Now this is probably going to be the pure pitch packaging. Do they get to vote too? What about your retailers?
Yeah, so we've definitely, thought about that a lot, how that could work. And so we're going to be making enough that there's going to be leftover, yeast to be sold. We can't make exactly 500 packages. We're not that great. So
we're pretty good.
Yeah, we're pretty good. We're not that exact, right? So we'll be making a little bit of extra. And then after that's been sold, there may be some extra to be able to go to commercial breweries or to the homebrew stores also. But it'll probably be in somewhat of a limited release.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a little more to add on that, too. I think that the plan is to, when we go to production, just like we would some other strains, we'll tell the breweries, we'll tell the homebrew stores, and give them the opportunity to order then so we can say, okay, how many reactors are we going to make of this? Well, maybe it'll be several, but it's going to be a very short period of time to order because we're going to produce it as a specialty batch and we won't make it again.
Yeah.
So they'll have that opportunity to order, and what we wanted to do was make sure the home brewers that order and pre-order on this side will get a little bit of a discount.
Oh, nice. As opposed to the retailer who might carry it later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some of an incentive for helping getting that strain produced.
Sure.
And you'll see the expected retail price next to the strain. But it's more than that, too. It's also giving the home brewer a more prominent role in deciding what's available in the marketplace.
Yeah.
They've always been a key to our business in terms of we do more in terms of commercial breweries, but the home brewer, the reason we make such a variety of yeast is in a lot of cases because of the home brewer. And now we're letting them decide what our production is going to be. So they'll have even a greater impact on what's available to home brewers and other people. And I hope that will be successful for not only us, but I hope to see other manufacturers join in this. Hops, malt, and we'll see what happens with
Where
it.
we get to choose. Yeah, I love it. Now, I'm curious if you predict that people will choose strains that maybe your staff in the lab is like, oh, God damn it. Now we have to make this yeast. And, are they kind of freaking out about this plan of yours? Because it's not so rigid. It's not you guys saying, hey, in a couple months, guys, we have our new platinum strain. You're going to have to make that. Now it's kind of random for them.
Oh, yes. And there's some very difficult strains for us to grow, and it's just like other kind of agricultural products or something. There's things that are sort of easier to make and some difficult ones, and that's something we work internally on. And I think without Kara and Mike here, there would be no vault program. So people really needed to champion it at White Labs because other people don't want it there.
Okay.
It just makes things more difficult.
Yeah. Sure.
So that's why it continued.
Okay.
But,
yeah, and so there might be some questions about why some of the strains are more expensive, but strains like the Demaromyces on there are much more difficult to grow than your average Saccharomyces strain, and
it's tough to say.
Yeah. But we pulled some of those strains from. There's a great paper on PLOS, which is an open source scientific journal that you guys might have read before about a lot of the different strains.
Of course.
Yeah,
I'm a
sorry.
founder of that.
The open source journal where they isolated a lot of DNA from Cantillon, and then they basically looked at a lot of the different organisms. So, traditionally we just think of those beers being Saccharomyces, and then, maybe lager yeast, ale yeast, Brett, PDO, and lacto, but they found there was a lot of other different organisms there, and so you can now sort of add those to some of your sour cultures, which maybe aren't producing the primary amounts of lactic acid, but are providing some of the mouthfeel and aromas that you get from a lot of those beers. So we have some of the Lactobacillus periclonoidus, and the Demaromyces strain has been from that paper too. So
it's not just going to be sac strains in the vault.
No,
voting.
it's called the yeast vault, but there's a lot of bacteria. Especially people are very excited about that.
Sure.
Lactobacillus plantarum is on there, which has been cool. Primarily a probiotic strain, but known to do some fast souring, and so
Great. I need probiotics in my beer.
Yeah.
You do.
This is perfect.
Drink some
Chris,
kombucha.
are there any of these strains that you don't know how they're going to react in production? Have you see what I mean? Have you grown up all of these strains and know that, okay, yes, we can do this? Or do you worry that you might
That's
find
why
one?
he hires me.
So have you evaluated each of these then, Kara? You can do these?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable putting anything out there that I'm like, oh, what's going to happen? So, there's actually some that are in a queue right now that we're waiting still on some results, just making sure we can get everything for production that I haven't even put on there yet.
Yeah, so as Kara said, we've done a lot of work on these strains, and we've brewed with a lot of them in our brewery, and as we do more of those brews, we'll keep adding it to the website. But doing large-scale production to the size that we're going to make for the vault, most of them haven't been grown to that size. Because, we haven't,
Sure.
We haven't reached that number yet, but we've done enough work on them to be confident that we'll be able to do that. And,
they're viable. You can propagate them.
Right.
Okay. Got it.
So, if we get a lot less yield on some, we'll have to grow more, and maybe we were wrong on pricing or something. But
okay.
Are you guys sold on the words "the vault" for it? Is it too late to change that?
You should have been in meetings like 6 months ago.
Because I think, just based on what you said, because it's not all yeast necessarily and whatever, sleeper cells would be a great name. I think the Google search term alone, awesome.
You'll show up in a lot of searches.
You won't be able to fly in the airline.
I think that'd be amazing. So I just want to throw it out there.
Yeah.
We're more...
now that the page is launched
peace,
and the URL set.
Through beer, right? So.
Although maybe there should be a strain called sleeper cells. It's like, one that just flocculates really fast.
Yes. It doesn't ferment at all. It just goes right to the bottom.
Or it doesn't. Like the saison
I feel like that
should
would
be
sell
called...
weirdly.
Right. The saison yeast could be terror cell because you don't know what it's going to do. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Are you going to catch it or you're not? I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
I actually agree with JP on this one. Not on changing the whole program, but maybe some aspects of it.
Look, we're not married to the name is what I'm hearing. So we have some room.
There's time.
Version 2.0 coming.
Once again, you can go to the Vault right now, thevault.com, and check it out. You can also, there's an FAQ there if you want to read more about how the program works, and you can learn all about that. And you can play along. So, for example, right now, the German Lager X, which is number one, if you were to pre-order, it's $6.30 for a pitch of that. Is there shipping then on top of that to have it delivered to my door?
$3.
$3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, USPS.
And it's perfect.
Yep.
America's postal service. Literally.
United States Postal Service.
Yeah. It's quite literally.
Yeah, for that reason, was one reason why we kept this to the United States, and especially for this release, because we're using the U.S. Post Service for that delivery of each unit. But for international home brewers, probably the thing that will happen right now is once we go to production, a store in that area can order, and they can get some delivered in bigger sizes, and then the home brewers in those other areas can get it.
So only Americans can vote right now.
Yeah,
as
it should be.
Listen, it's an election season, and I feel like you're just you're sticking to what's happening in the U.S. right now.
A lot about exclusion right now. I'm getting in this politics. So you get in a USPS envelope?
Yes.
Bubble wrap? No, you don't need it probably.
It'll have like
it'll be protecting the ketchup
the puffiness.
Yeah.
What is it called? Yes.
The puffiness.
I think it's called the puffiness.
Yep, there'll be an ice pack and
ice pack.
Yeah, there's gonna be an ice pack.
Nice.
I think that's Peter.
Wow, you guys are pros.
$3,
The puffiness.
and it comes in a cool ice pack. The new packaging, of course. Wow, that's a pretty good
That's a
deal.
good price for a
That's
rare
a good
yeast.
deal. You guys are really giving it to
Who'd you have
Rare yeast.
Who'd you have to blow to get $3 a shipment through USPS? Did you guys get some special
Postmaster.
pricing over there?
You had to blow me.
Stamps.com.
No, I told her that I'm the guy.
What if you order two?
Yeah, I'm still
Like
not
twins.
sure about that, but we'll see. That's what we commit to.
2 envelopes.
Kara, are you sure?
Yeah.
Logistically, we're not sure if someone
If we're going to lose money on that, but
people are allowed to order more than one.
Yes,
if they want to. Okay, you're just not sure exactly.
Does that mean
how
they
will
can
ship.
vote twice?
No, and most people, not most, but a lot of people so far through the customer club have ordered multiple vials. I
Yeah.
still call them vials of each one.
About half, or at least ordering multiples of the same or multiple strains.
Okay.
And there's a real advantage of being first because you get it before anybody else. If you're pre-ordering, you're going to get it before stores. You're going to get it before anybody else. And that store release will be just a limited time anyway. And it really gives it kind of reinforces what brewing is all about in terms of in America and now everywhere else, we're reinventing beer styles. Now you have a chance to use strains that and most likely have never been used before and really invent new beers that nobody's tried, nobody's tasted, and be the first to do so.
Is it once it reaches 250? Is it pulled from the site and you can't order it after that point? You have to wait until it comes back on the list if it ever does again.
It will go back to zero.
Okay.
But it'll stay on the website.
It might stay on the site if it was enormously popular.
Right.
Yeah, it probably depends on the timing since we've got a queue of other yeast and bacteria. But
okay.
So
But
order
if
while you have the
250
chance.
in a week, you'd probably want to continue to let
yeah, maybe that poor Belgian lager.
Well, you know, what about Well, as brewers, home brewers use these, inevitably some percentage of those idiots will start a brewery. Will they be able to maybe take one of these yeast and would you guys move it in production for them if they needed it?
Yeah, it kind of just depends on the demand for some of these things. Some of them are already available, like the high-pressure lager yeast is a very common lager strain, but was never really released to homebrewers, but people were asking for it, and so we decided to bring it to the homebrewers. Some of the other strains, like the Debaromyces and some of the other blends, we've never sold to professional brewers, and so if they want it and it works out for us and quantity, but they'll also be available. When it's available. Same thing with stores.
You won't be necessarily dead in it.
Well,
they can always,
the question you guys are asking are very interesting because it just shows how complicated this industry is and how complicated even a little company can be. And those are the questions we kept asking over the last year.
The beer world changes every 3 or 4 years. So
right.
you're just part. We're just jumping on this train here. Who knows what's going to happen?
But we're also building that capacity. So when Asheville comes online in about May is when we expect, it won't double our capacity, but it will eventually. We're going to keep adding capacity out there. Then we'll start putting more strains on here because we'll have more capacity to make more strains and then be able to ship them from multiple locations as well.
Sure.
All right, everybody, go to yeastvault.com. You can cast your votes right now, and you get to choose the next White Labs yeast strain. I just think it's such a cool project. I've been excited about it since I heard it. When can I give a little internal? I'm going to give it anyway. A little internal White Labs information. When I first heard about it, I heard something from Chris, and I thought, well, that sounds cool. And then I heard the staff's interpretation of the other people, and their interpretation was completely different. And then I was really confused about what was happening, and we ended up all coming together and sitting down and going, no, listen, it's quite simple. The customer chooses the yeast, period. Everything else were just details that had to be worked out, which you guys did as a team. You did a great job of it, and it was just such a simple concept to me once we came together and went, listen, the customer chooses the yeast.
Yeah.
I thought it was great, so it's really exciting.
Well, thanks, because that really was the vision, because I travel around a lot. I talk to a lot of home brewers, and they're constantly telling me what strains they want. I'm going to Nelson, New Zealand in March, and talking to home brewers there, and looking forward to that. And they're...
see you there.
Are you going? Yeah, all right. I'll see you there, Tasty. And they always are telling me what strains I want, but I'm one person, and a lot of those strains they tell me have gone into production. But I'm like, well, how can you get more of these people telling us what to make?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Also, we've had that issue with T-shirt designs and things where 5 vocal people will tell us about something they want to see, and then we presume, okay, well, I'm hearing about this one design from 5 people. It must be popular, right? Everybody must want it. And we make the design, and five fucking people buy the design, and nobody else cares.
Yeah. No, 3 people buy the design. Even worse.
Yeah. Or like sizes, right? They'll go, oh, you got to carry 3X, and we'll hear this, what sounds like this vocal majority. Yeah. We buy 20, of the 3X size. We sell 2 of them, and so it's easy to get kind of wrapped up in who's being vocal and think that that's what all your customers want. Mm-hmm. This is a way to sort of bypass that and go,
you get it.
If 250 of you want it, you're going to get it. Period. That's it. So.
Yeah, and we actually made that number a little lower than we planned on because that's still, a smaller. It's not really a run, but so that number may rise over the future if it's more popular. But we started with that 250 number to get that production started.
Okay, go to yeastvault.com right now and check it out. You can cast your vote. You can just go to whitelabs.com too. There's a big banner on the top of the page. You can click it, and I suggest you go vote for the next White Labs yeast. You guys want to do some listener questions? We had them come in through the chat room.
Yes.
Before we have to move on.
Of course.
Here is a question from one of our guests in the chat room today. Do you think WLP001 is much different than San Diego super yeast?
Yeah. We again, with having the ability to have the brewery and the tasting room there in San Diego, and we make same beers with those 2 yeast strains and have those yeast strains on. They're a little different, and the kinetics of the San Diego Super, it's a different fermentation. It's faster, and a little different attenuation, a little different flavor. They're certainly more similar than other yeast strains, but English ale yeast 002 is pretty similar to 07 to the dry English ale yeast, but they're still different when you make the same batch of beer.
Okay, good enough. Here's one where you have to sort of agree with the premise of the question. I'll ask it how it is, but you have to agree with the premise. Can you ask why their lacto is so infamous for not really making things sour? Do you agree with that premise? Do people talk about how your lactose strain doesn't make things sour?
Yeah, so
okay.
we have we've had a different lactose strain than some other companies for a while, but now we actually have 2 for homebrewers that are actually on the market. We have Lactobacillus delbrueckii, and then we have the Lactobacillus brevis. And the Lactobacillus brevis has been proven to make a more sour beer, quote unquote, And so that's just sort of just the strain of lacto. They're not all created equal, which is why in the vaults now we have 2 other lactose strains added, or we have 3 added, I think, on there now. And if they were all created equal, then we would only have one, and that would be everything that everyone would get, But I think that they're not all created equal. It's a strain that not everyone has, and even within that species, there can be separate strains within that also. So just things to think about. They're not all created equal.
Okay,
but how equal are they?
Super equal.
Separate but equal.
Oh, good.
All right, here's
DNA.
Here's one about some of the genome sequencing you've done. This listener says, I read a bit about the sequencing leading to the distinction between the Brett-like Saccharomyces and Brett Vrai? Am I saying V-R-A-I? Is this just spelled wrong? The distinction between the Brett-like sac and the Brett Vrai.
Okay, we call that our Brettois.
Brettois, okay. The question then is, what was the genome or pretome that led to the distinction? Metabolisms of certain sugars, phenols, alcohols, or just a total number of chromosomes, or something else?
Written by I'm a fancy-ass motherfucker.
Right. I'm hoping you guys understand the question. Okay, good. Help me understand the question.
What?
So since there's no whole genome sequencing hasn't been done yet, right? That's what I'm talking about. We're working on. There is going to be strains that will be relabeled once you say the strain is not a lager yeast, or the strain is not this or that, or this is a new hybrid strain. And it's happened throughout biology as organisms have sequencing, full sequencing done. So things get relabeled. And so this is an early example of that, even though we're not done with the whole program, that what we thought through purchasing and some testing and fermentations was Brettanomyces was not genetically.
Okay.
And so some other, there's lots of lab people as homebrewers and stuff. Other people were questioning that. We were as well, and we had kind of an internal project on it. It took a long time.
Okay.
And so that's kind of an early example of name change. Yeah.
The cool thing that kind of happened is people kind of just said, who cares if it tastes good and makes good beer, then we don't really care if it's Brett or not, right? So
Agreed.
I think that's
okay.
But it's also interesting that there are Brett-like Saccharomyces, right? And that's not so surprising to me because there's so many strains of yeast, right? And so many wild strains, they're going to make those variety of flavor compounds.
Okay. Pure pitch question. You guys mentioned earlier about how concentrated the pitch can be now in this new process and the new packaging. So this listener wants to know if you have a suggestion for getting all the yeast out of the pure pitch packaging. He says it is pretty thick, like you're mentioning.
Yeah.
And have you guys had to answer this question before, how we're getting it out of the package?
Well, I just ask other home brewers, and most are saying they squeeze it out like a toothpaste tube.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, get a bunch of it out of there. You don't have to get every drop.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing mostly.
It's like the guys with the extracts, or like the liquid extracts, are trying to get that last teaspoon or tablespoon. Just forget that. Just get extra if you need it.
Right.
And you supply extra in the pack.
Yeah, there's more in there to begin with now. So
what might be a good promotional item, whenever I go to my dentist office, it's right here.
Right.
I pick up this little. It's like smaller than a credit card, and it's a piece of plastic, and it has a slot in it, like sort of at the top. And when you look at it, you're like, "What the fuck is that?" But what you do is you put it on the end of your toothpaste vial, like this, and then you just move it down your toothpaste vial as you use it. And you can. His says Dr. Scott Lothamer, DDS, and so maybe he could give it. Maybe the next time you guys are you have a booth somewhere, it's a sweet promotion. I think even his very one that goes over a toothpaste vial would fit perfectly over a pure pitch.
We just cross out his name
package, and you just use it.
Just get a sticker over the top of that,
and just stick it over it.
But I get more people like, "What's this?" And as soon as you tell them what it is, the light goes off. And
and it does squeeze perfectly all the toothpaste out of the tube.
I throw like half
that's a great idea.
I mean,
who
cares?
We are listening.
I don't care.
Swag.
We are listening to all of these things because we know there's going to be some really great innovations we can do with it to make it easier to use. But we knew we couldn't figure out those things ourselves. Yeah. So it was another very difficult thing. The Pure Pitch was even, that was more years and more difficulty because the idea to translate into a process took a lot longer to get that process done of making the yeast in the film and then getting it sealed in the film. And then now to innovate how that film can be sealed and opened, and especially with the larger packages, is something we're working on because we created a whole R&D department to make this Pure Pitch process, Flexcell process, making the Pure Pitch package, and then we put that production of that yeast in that method in Davis. So then Davis can help us innovate that for Asheville.
Sure.
So all these pieces have started to work together. And so we have that team now to be listening to these suggestions and make it better and better and better.
Well, in the meantime, I do like Tacey's advice, which is just get most of it out of there, and you're going to have a huge pitch of yeast.
Do something else instead of worrying about that a little bit.
All right.
Same with the toothpaste, by the way. Who cares?
Okay, and let's see. Oh, here's one about the Nordic Ale Blend. Is that one I just saw in the Yeast Vault, Kara, or is that something you already have?
Yeah, no, that's the new Nordic yeast blend. Yeah.
Okay. So this listener says, in the Nordic Ale Blend yeast, it says, quote, has been tamed from the wild to meet process criteria. What exactly does this mean? He wants to know.
Yeah, so I think some people think that it's really easy to just find yeast in nature, and then all of a sudden we just use it in beer. But it has to really gone through some processes to make sure that, one, it ferments sugar to create alcohol, and then two, that it flocculates, that it works well, we can grow it. And so that's a lot of the trials that Tolls went through when getting those strains, and they were collected from apples, which is great because apples are a sugar source. So that's a great start. But will it create alcohol?
Yeah.
And that's really where a lot of that process comes in. Is will it actually ferment something that? Oh, and does it taste good? That's the other thing. So we can get to those two steps, and then if you a lot of yeast would just taste awful. A lot of those wild strains. So.
Is that really disappointing in the lab where you go through all this work to find out that you can produce it, then it will produce alcohol, and then you make a beer with it and you go, oh, shit.
Yeah, I think the idea is actually to combine a lot of those things, and then you get something that's as complex as something like Cantillon, right? Like some people call it like fecal notes, which is usually coming from the microbes. But if we maybe only use that microbe, it would be considered gross. But then once we mix it with a lot of other compounds and other microbes, that you sort of get this complexity and balance there with some of those things.
So as a lab team, are there like days where you've gone through all this, it's taken so much time, and then you finally taste something and it is phenomenal? It is like a Cantillon yeast. Are you guys like just ecstatic like that? You've now created something that blows our mind. You guys like have parties for that?
I wish we had more parties like that. Yeah, that was some of the cider blends that we created. I was really excited about some of those because cider to me is really finicky, and it needs some certain yeast that they don't all work in cider. And I was excited when I found some I like dry ciders, so that's why I've created some of these to be a little bit drier, and they were kind of fun, and I was like, oh, I just made some ideas on paper, and this really works.
And it worked out to be that.
Yep.
Because on an extremely rare occasion, we produce radio in this room that is really awesome, and afterward we're like, I said extremely rare, and then we're like, oh my God, we did that. It was a cool product, and I'm just thinking, you guys work so hard sometimes on these things, and then I feel like I would taste it one day as a lab person like you and go, fuck yeah, we did that. That's our product.
Yeah, I think I'm more critical of myself, though, a little bit, So you're constantly saying, I don't know if people are going to like this, and then you get a lot of positive feedback, and that's kind of more where that's at, probably.
Okay.
But
it sounds like Kara would rather work in cider than anything else.
I think so.
Right?
That's fair. Well,
that's kind of what
not
I'm
in
hearing.
Brazil.
Not in Brazil.
No, I'd rather work in cider.
Well, it's different down there.
Okay. All right, I think that's all the questions I had from the chat room. Don't forget, you can go to yeastvault.com right now and cast your vote for the next White Labs yeast. Kara, wonderful job on the project. Mike White, wonderful job on the website and how it's looking there, that people can go and vote and see how things are scoring. I know you're proud of this, Mike.
Is he seizing up right now?
He wants to talk to you about mobile friendly, things
is
like
it?
that,
Is it all? I can get it on my phone right now too.
Not only, Justin.
Yeah.
Can you find it all over the web? But on your phone, it even looks better.
Really?
It actually looks much better than the website.
Okay.
I actually kind of agree. I looked at today. That looked great.
A tablet, phone, yeah, absolutely. Go use that method. Lots of more people are doing it. 10%, 20%, now 30% of our users' website.
Well, when I stop,
mobile,
those numbers are going up.
They're going up
Weird.
every couple of months.
Well, when I stop using my phone browser for only porn, I will go check out White Labs and see how it looks.
I think you'll find it. Well, you won't find it as exciting as your other choice,
right? But I'll find it pleasing to the eye, nonetheless.
You'll still enjoy it. Yes.
Okay. Good. Very good. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with White Labs as well because we're going to play a game. We're going to play Find the Fake. Did I leave you hanging, Tasty? Do you have more?
No, I just wondered about the AHA memberships. How's that going?
Well, two things. First, I want to let you know about the Brewers Association Brewers Publications book, Quality Management. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks, and you need to go check it out.
I own it.
You do, right? It's a great...
I bought 2 copies.
Did you? One for home and one for the lab, or
a
what?
gift for her and a little something for him.
I see. Yeah. You bought the Adam.
What's the big something?
I don't know.
The Latin guy.
Actually, I bought one for Chris,
somewhere.
and then he bought one himself for double the price, actually. So
Wow.
We all went a little crazy with that one.
Well, you can go to brewerspublications.com right now and get Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers. And, Ken Grossman endorses this book by saying, look, quality is the tough part. All right, we can all make beer. Making consistent beer is hard. Making quality beer is hard. Making constant quality beer is about as difficult as it gets. And this is something that you need if you're gonna open a brewery, if you already have a brewery, if you're sending beers to Kara at White Labs for analytical processing, and she's sending it back to you and saying, man, this thing's bad, then you probably need to buy Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers. Go to brewerspublications.com right now. It's a great gift for the beer nerd scientist in your family. Check it out right now. Okay. Now, as Tasty mentioned, we're also doing an AHA rally tonight. Yeah. We're looking for you to buy or renew your AHA memberships through thebrewingnetwork.com. You can go to our website, thebrewingnetwork.com, click on the AHA logo on the right side or the banner that you might find at the top of the page, and then use coupon code BNARMY, and you're going to get a free copy of Modern Homebrew Recipes and American Sour Beers. And it doesn't cost you any more than buying your membership anywhere else, but we get a little piece of the action, too, so it's a great way to support us. And we do believe that you should be an American Homebrewers Association member. I don't think there's a person in this room except for Taylor, but who gives a shit about that guy? He works out at the Hop Grenade, who doesn't believe that you should be an American Homebrewers Association member. Right, Whitey? Everybody should be a member of this association.
That's kind of an amazing deal. I wasn't really listening until now, but...
2 books.
Right, 2
books.
And they're great books.
No extra money.
Modern Homebrew Recipes from Gordon Strong, who's not only handsome but smart.
It's my favorite.
And then American Sour Beers, which is just a phenomenal resource now if you want to make some American-style sour beers at home. So hit the AHA link. And I'm looking, what do we say, Tasty? I'm looking for 100 members.
I'd like to get 100. In fact, I've watched a lot of NPR and stuff on the TV.
Yeah.
And Rick,
on the TV?
Yeah.
He has a special TV.
He does.
The TV, what's the public station?
PBS. Yeah.
He's real high. You smoke enough weed, you'll get it.
You watch it every time. You're right. Just staring at a stereo.
And I've watched a lot of Rick Steves, and here's what I'm going to sweeten the pot.
Okay.
If you can send me a email confirmation of your order, dated today, which is, of course, East Coast is already over.
It's the 14th.
Or tomorrow, which is, of course, tomorrow.
Yep.
I'll send you a free Tasty sticker to your address.
Wow. All right. So now we're getting a copy of Modern Homebrew Recipes, a copy of American Sour Beers, and a Tasty sticker.
Yes.
Tasty
at thebrewingnetwork.com. Send it to me, and you'll...
A confirmation of your receipt.
Yes.
Use coupon code BNARMY at checkout after you click the AHA link on our homepage, BNARMY. 2 books and a tasty sticker. Right. This goes through December 20th. So you have until Sunday, podcast listeners, and we want to see you sign up for this thing. All right? Do it, because I said so. All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to play a little game. We're going to Find the Fake, guys. It's a little bit of beer news, so put your thinking caps on. And we're also going to find out our Twitter game winner, the last person to be entered into a chance to win a cabin on the Labruski cruise. Yep. So hang in there with us. We'll be right back. It's The Session with White Labs.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Beer tasting games that train your palate, a brewery locator, and the brand new interactive beer style guide. These are just a few of the awesome things you'll find on craftbeer.com. The style guide is a beautiful example of technology in beer. Browse beer style families or turn on the automatic beer style finder and explore beer through color, bitterness, ABV, aroma, and flavor. It's really the coolest way to explore every beer style besides having them all in front of you. Go to craftbeer.com and click on Beer Styles to start the guide. Plus, enjoy the rest of craftbeer.com, the Brewers Banter blogs, beer education, how to host a beer tasting, and the invaluable Draft Quality Manual. Tons of great content that makes your beer better. Visit the new craftbeer.com right now and explore the website that brings you all the passion, camaraderie, and creativity of the craft beer community. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer. Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
3-time Ninkasi Award winner and Grandmaster Judge Gordon Strong invites you on a guided journey of what's new in the world of homebrewing. Modern homebrew recipes, exploring styles, and contemporary techniques available now from Brewers Publications. Gordon brings you specific advice and sensory profiles for as-brewed, award-winning beers with delicious variations to get your creative juices flowing. This is more than just a book of recipes. It sets brewers on the path path to discovering what's new in the world of homebrewing. AHA Director Gary Glass says if you want to enter competitions or just learn more about styles that you might not have experience with, this book is going to help you tremendously. By emulating what Gordon does, you're going to make better beer. Modern homebrew recipes, exploring styles, and contemporary techniques by Gordon Strong. Available right now from brewerspublications.com and find brewing retailers near you.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's the session.
We're going back to Steel Panther in January. They're coming to town.
Yeah, that's right. I'll be out of town, or else I'd go with you guys.
I saw that you won't be there. That's too bad. We're going to have a good time. Steel Panther's always fun. All right, we're still hanging out with White Labs. We got a couple things left to do. We're going to play Find the Fake, which means we need some callers. 888-401-BEER, 888-401-BEER. Come on in, call, and play along with us. You'll win a prize that Bevo will send you. We were having an argument earlier about whether or not Bevo's wearing a wife beater tonight. Kara, what do you think? She's wearing
No, definitely not. It has to be ribbed and much more see-through.
That was
one,
Bevo's
it's pretty
argument.
see-through, but it needs to be more see-through.
Yeah.
She also said that the back is special, too.
She said it had to be like racer back to be a...
and there's usually like a tattoo that's like low on your chest.
Yeah, but that's a
has
wife
to
beater.
pop out.
But that's not a shirt.
Right. It's just people who wear the shirt. Yeah. Beeves had her boobs out the last couple of weeks, but then she put like a super sweater on last week, and that was no fun. But
You were always commenting on women's breastises.
But mostly Bevo. It's true, most women's, but Bevos are sort of a staple in our life, you know. Like
they're always around.
They got to be stapled down. What?
All right. Chris White just looked at you like, what the...
Bevo's gotten really smart. She doesn't turn that microphone on. You notice that?
Nah, she takes her headphones off now, too.
Yeah.
Her life is more peaceful now.
Yeah. Well, Target.com takes a lot of energy.
Focus.
This episode is so
Oh my
much
God,
better,
I'm working. What are you talking about?
Your boobs.
Yeah.
You guys suck.
Are you surprised?
Sadly, no.
Speaking of Target.
We had a reminder of them. I don't know how.
This is way better, though, than the last time I was on the show and my mom listened.
Oh, what did we do then?
All I got a text message that said, all I hear is vagina. And I'm like, what?
We do say vagina a lot
there was a lot of...
Did we have a big echo? Or
there was a... What?
Not yours, just in general. Slow down.
Carol, that was not a reflection of your vagina.
Right.
Yeah.
Just calm down.
God.
It's all right.
It's a condition.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh,
Chris
man.
is so uncomfortable.
My parents are listening.
Well, your mom probably fell asleep by now.
No, don't worry about it. Your parents... I'm already in solid with the white parents, so I'm allowed to say fucked up things on the show because they know I'm not a total douchebag. I'm just half one. So
got them fooled.
They've got a good sense of humor.
They're you know what? They're our biggest fans of the TV show, JP.
Oh, really?
To this day, whenever I go see the White's parents at family functions and different things, first thing they do is talk about that program. I think they still watch the reruns sometimes.
That's good for them.
So
They love it.
They bought the
like
one
a Rocky
DVD
Park.
box set.
They're big JP fans.
Well, I doubt that.
They liked you on the program.
Let me know when our guest appearance is scheduled. For anything.
For the white family?
For the TV show we did 6 years ago?
Yeah, I'll have a writer for them. It'll be amazing.
Yeah. Is that reruns?
Yeah.
I was at Lagunitas the other day, and one of the guys who I know is giving us a tour. I brought the Frenchies there, and he's like, "Hey, when are you gonna do your show?"
That's right.
And I was like, "I do my show every week. What are you talking?" He's like, "No, your show." I know. I do a show every week.
Right.
No, not that one. The TV show.
Oh, silly.
Yeah, and I'm like this one sucks, and the TV show is good.
Right.
And all I'm thinking was like, dude, the TV show is a flash in the pan.
Well, he has a TV. He probably doesn't have an internet.
He doesn't have an internet.
He did an episode there, and he remembered that episode.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, here you don't write your own deal.
Right.
Well,
people try.
True. They fucking do try.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, they're...
Too soon.
All right. Before we get to our game, I want to talk quickly about Double Blaze Brewing. I mentioned it a little while ago. They're doing a Kickstarter campaign. Our friend Jacob Mitchell started as a homebrew project back in 2012. They're going to be opening in Temecula in 2016, and they're starting with a 2.5-barrel, four-vessel system and 10-barrel fermenters. So, yeah.
Hey, we passed right through Temecula going to Disneyland.
You can go to Kickstarter.com and search for Double Blaze Brewing and check them out. There's actually only a couple of days left in the campaign, so if you're listening to this live now, go donate, or if you're listening to the podcast and it's Tuesday or Wednesday morning, you're running out of time. Especially if you're in Southern California, you want to see a new brewery in Temecula, California, just search for Double Blaze Brewing over on Kickstarter and help a fellow homebrewer realize his dream. He sent us some beer.
Yeah, if they're making
beer
beer
in our glass right now,
this good, on a commercial scale.
It's a nice sour beer, right?
Smells like apricot.
Peach lambic on the label.
Peach.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm so
Another
glad.
furry
I'm so glad it doesn't say German Helles on the label.
My Schwartz beer is amazing.
Oh, it's a nice peach lambic. These people should be putting some beer in the marketplace. So go check them out. You can go to Kickstarter.com right now and search Double Blaze Brewing. And I think you want to be able to buy this beer in the future. So give them a couple bucks, will you?
I like that it's not overtly sour. It's not super mouth puckering, drying sour.
Yeah,
it tastes more like peach. It's a peach beer.
Yeah,
with some tartness at the end, and there's some little sour stuff going on. I kind of like that linear, progression of this is exactly what it is.
It might be that White Labs blend that's not so sour.
Yeah.
In this beer.
I like that I can swallow and my whole mouth doesn't feel dry. And
Me too.
Stop it. I saw exactly where that was going. Stop it.
Kara should be a co-host on this program. Why can't you move to the Davis location and work out of there and come to the show with us every
flannel,
Monday?
I don't think
You would be such a great asset to this show as our co-host.
That's very sweet. Thank you.
Well, when you're tired of San Diego,
there's a producer slot open.
If that ever happens,
right?
We need some smart people in here too. We're just winging it.
Yeah.
Well, also, Davis is a college town. So you can run through them boys.
That's right.
Let's go.
I'm into much older men. Yeah, not happening.
How much older? What's your median age right now?
Median. I'm 29 now. It increases as I get older, but we're looking at least mid-30s. You can't be at
okay. Well, that's
23.
We're not talking like 45 or 50-year-olds here. We're talking.
No, that's okay too. But I'm just
your median.
We
is
don't discriminate on the older side. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Thank God.
Are most of the men that you date, do they reside?
I love that but now we're just talking about this now.
Do they reside in the United States, or do they reside in other countries that you travel to all the time? Just on average.
On average?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is kind of weird.
Out of 5 guys, how many of them are in the U.S. and how many are in other countries? On average.
How many of them have last names?
Right.
They don't all exist at the same time.
Well, I know, that's fine. I'm not saying you're dating 5 guys right now.
But still.
You kill them afterwards?
Let's say 3. So there's like a 75% U.S. ratio.
Okay, that's higher than I expected.
You got some eyes watching you now, girl.
That's higher than I expected.
Hey, you've been on the road alone. Come on.
Should we bring Jamie in here to verify the...
No. Let's keep the door closed.
She knows far more of the numbers.
Yes, she does.
All right, How many men are you dating right now?
Oh my God! Moving on. What's the next?
What's your Tinder profile look like? Let me see.
On average,
have you ever used Tinder?
No, that is not my style at all. I'm way too shy.
What about do you use Match.com or any of that stuff?
No.
Okay,
that's
Cupid.
not my.
What's your style? Like go to a beer fest and just hit on dudes?
Take your pants off. That's what it is, right?
Do you want us to help pick a guy out of the hop grenade crowd?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. We're moving on. What's this Twitter game? What is this story? I'm really excited
give her
about
a contract for her own show, will you?
Yeah. Love Story with Kara Taylor. Be a great show. Would you want to do a love show for us? Like a dating show?
Oh my gosh.
Like a dating
that would
advice.
Be so much fun.
So you know who wants to do a dating advice show is Jamil. Actually, he doesn't want to do dating advice. He wants to do.
Jamil and I are always having great conversations about things like that.
I do think the two of you would do a great.
He told me I would
show.
be a great partner on Naked and Afraid. I'm not kidding.
Do you have survival skills?
Yeah.
'Cause that's what that show's about.
You know what? I could see the two of you doing this program. Yeah.
He said he would be the protein provider, and I.
Wait a second.
Because someone has to hunt. Someone has to hunt on the show. You know?
Is that a liquid diet?
Yeah.
Do you have a
Whenever Jamil tells you he'll be the protein provider, I think you ought to be concerned.
Oh my God! Stop it.
That'd be a great milk stout name.
Oh, gross!
Protein provider, milk stout.
Oh,
that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned that you frequent a beard connection website.
Oh no, there's like a oh my gosh, what is it called now? But there's actually like a Tinder for beards.
FarmersOnly.com.
No, but I have gone on that one time just to see what was going on, but not for fun. That was just for fun.
Research.
Yes,
Right.
strictly research. But gosh, I can't think of what it is now. But there's like a Tinder for beards, and it's pretty hilarious to watch. But it's not great in San Diego, so you got to go to other cities, I guess, for that. But
So just for
Bristler.
is it a beards
Bristler,
looking for
yes,
other beards,
Bristler.
or just women looking
no,
for beards?
when you sign up, it asks you if you have a beard or not. So ideally, you're a woman looking for a beard. Or,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
can't
But
believe this is a thing.
it's pretty great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love beard. That's almost a requirement.
It's called Bristler. BRISTLR.
Yeah, it's called
Bristler.
Bristler. Yeah.
Can we change the game we were going to play tonight to the Kara dating game instead of Find the Fake? And see
I
if
think that's a good audible. I
She's
think.
been trying to get off the topic for like
That's where
30, 40 minutes.
That's where I wanted our
She's
game.
trying hard enough.
That's where I wanted our game to go for the thing.
Yeah,
this is exactly where I want it to go.
Yeah.
I think you need to lead up to it and get a lot of great candidates over a couple of week time period.
What are you saying about our current patrons?
Right, yeah. There might need to be some qualifier kind of
prelims.
I agree with
things
you.
to do. Yeah,
sure.
So JP had this idea for the cruise that I felt wasn't going to work out there, but I love the idea, and maybe we could work it out for maybe NHC, where it's like the homebrewer dating game.
Oh my gosh,
Remember,
that's so great.
remember the dating game?
Yes.
Right? So it's either 3 dudes and a chick, or 3 chicks and a dude. So clearly it's going to be 3 dudes and a chick.
Way easier to find.
There's only one chick at the whole place.
Right.
And you don't get to see it because it's going to be
she's
you,
married.
Kara.
That's gonna be a vendor chick.
You don't get to see the 3 guys. You just get to ask the question.
Yeah.
Like
I love it.
if you were to take me out in Brazil, what would we do?
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to play this at NHC this year. What do you think, Kara?
Oh, done. Done.
It's just so
Yeah.
I love it.
You'll be the girl.
Yeah, everyone wants to go on a date in Baltimore.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too.
Oh yeah, that's
The
right.
payoff will happen at NHC
That night.
We'll do the dating game on day 1, and that night you go out on the date, and then day 2 we get the wrap up.
Yeah, day 2 to 4 is awkward. We have a GoPro.
We're going to strap the GoPro to Kara's chest.
Oh my gosh.
Do you see what happened? Do you see what just happened? It happened so
Justin,
fast.
I want to know what you mean by the word payoff. I mean, your payoff. I mean,
sorry. That she chooses the date, and then the date happens. That's the payoff.
That night.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the next day we get to hear about it.
Yes, that's the payoff. Yeah, I'm not saying there has to be a whole other thing.
But there could be.
And we'll put the GoPro on to prove it.
You guys are going to be sitting in the corner just watching, taking photos.
Yeah.
Not the corner, the next table.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine being at the restaurant and the entire Brewing Network staff is sitting at the table next to you?
Right there drinking.
Staring
What
at
are you doing?
Hey, how's it going over there?
Yeah. And then providing
my
color,
GoPro.
providing color commentary. She just made a move to his upper thigh. That's a little fast, don't you think, Gene? I sure do.
For most girls, it would be fast, but we've heard about Kara. She likes legs.
Oh, my gosh.
She grabs legs.
We call her the whirlwind in San Diego because you never know what just hit you.
Wow.
I don't know. Ow.
Yeah, no. You're going to get hit.
This would be the second employee from White Labs to beat my ass on the air.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Who beat you
Lisa
the first time?
just sat there and slapped me for an hour for no reason. So I'm like, wow!
You seem to deserve that.
But that was
one, though.
deserved.
Yeah,
Yes,
probably.
exactly.
Good one for me.
That's right. I remember you yelled at Lisa.
Give me a
Like 4 times.
We're really getting smacked a lot.
But I will say you guys all jumped in to save me, and that was really awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh,
Do you
wait
have
a minute.
sensitive arms, or
I'll show you later.
All right. Why don't we...
that's how we got to move on? Really?
That's our segue?
We don't talk about his arms.
Why don't we find out who our contestants are for Find the Fake?
They're too wiry.
All right, where
Yes.
JP gives us 3 news stories.
Yes.
And one of them is fake.
That's correct.
All right. Our contestants tonight, I guess I'm just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Caller, who are we talking to? Where are you from?
Hey, how's it going? It's Luke from Fairfield, Connecticut.
Luke from Connecticut. All right.
You meant Fairfield, California?
No.
No.
Yeah, Fairfield, Connecticut's a little nicer than Fairfield, California. No offense.
It's a low bar.
So, all right, hang in there. Just stay on the line. Shit.
Stay on the line as I hang up on you.
I just dumped Luke.
Catch you later,
You
Luke.
suck. I sent those to you, by the way, so they're in the. I logged in to send them to you.
Oh, okay. That's helpful. That's good.
I try.
Luke, I'm sorry. Call back in. Let's go to Olivia from Burbank. What's happening, Olivia? Olivia's peeing?
Yeah, Olivia, find your phone. Get closer to the phone.
Get closer to the phone.
Yeah.
Get off speakerphone.
Yeah, can you do me a favor? Don't put the phone on the front porch and you sit in the living room.
The couch is comfy.
Here she is.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Olivia.
How are you guys?
We're doing great. Thanks for calling in. Let's see if I can.
Absolutely.
See if I can not dump you.
We just met.
Hang on there.
That was quick.
All right, and then we got Nick from Sweden. Hi, Nick.
Yeah. Hey.
You don't sound Swedish.
No, you wouldn't understand me if I.
You wouldn't understand me.
That's a great good point, man. That's a great point.
Wait,
Nick.
what happened? I was on the phone.
Never
Is he
mind.
really
Never
not from
mind.
Sweden?
He's from Sweden.
Don't worry.
No, you're good. You're good.
doing great.
He's from Sweden. All right, and then finally we've got HH from Georgia. Hi, HH.
How's it going?
Would that be the state of Georgia or the geopolitical state of Georgia?
The U.S. state of Georgia.
Okay.
Oh, I've been meaning to write in. My kettle that you sent me is amazing.
Oh, do you like it? Good.
There's nothing there.
Well, thanks for winning it.
Change your beer life. That's great.
Yeah.
And then is Luke back on one? All right. Sorry about that, Luke.
No problem, man.
All right, so JP is going to read us 3 news stories, and our contestants are going to guess which one is the fake. Now, contestants, you can choose one person from the studio here tonight to help you decide which one is the fake. All right, so we've got, you can't choose JP because it's his game, but you can choose Kara, Chris White, Mike White, Tasty, Beardy, or me.
Can I just add that for those who don't know, Mike White was a newspaper writer for many years.
That's true. A journalist, if you will.
I won't. Actually,
I refuse.
So if that helps in any way.
No, that's good to know.
To decipher.
The
these kind of
contestants
things.
should also know that
I've never won this
people
game.
on the show know how JP's mind works. So we're often we're able to tell by how he exaggerates whether it's something he would be able to think of.
Some of us in this room are able to do that.
Not very
yes.
many of us.
Is
but not
anybody
very
really?
many.
You always get it wrong.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think one last question would be helpful. Does anybody here besides me read news?
Oh.
Oh, I can do that.
Define news. Like The Onion counts?
Onion is my favorite.
Okay, so then yes. Yeah. All right, let's play the game. JP, why don't you read us our 3 news stories for today?
All right. There are 4, just to clarify.
Oh, yes.
There's 4 news stories.
I was going to complain.
We don't stand a chance.
3 are real and 1 is not.
Okay.
So I didn't want you to think that I was reading you the 3 real ones.
And then
right.
Total of 4 stories.
Yes.
One of them's fake.
No order.
You got it.
Carry on.
You're doing great. By now, we are all familiar with the love affair the Japanese have with vending machines. From eggs to ice to umbrellas to vegetables to cans of beer, our friends to the east seem to have cornered the market on dispensing life's essentials. Enter West Flanders, Belgium. Specifically, a parking lot in the small village of Hansame, which is home to the world's first vending machine that dispenses entire cases of beer. Created by beer giant AB InBev and dispensing their popular Jupiler Lager beer, which is the #1 selling beer in Belgium, by the way, the vending machine sets out to serve a, quote, rising consumer demand for chilled beer at any time of the day and night. An ID scanner prevents any underage drinkers from procuring their own 18-pack, but let's be honest, this new machine will be the cornerstone of the shoulder-tapping industry.
Okay.
Okay, number 2. I forgot to name them all clever names.
I'll figure it out.
All right,
Was the vending machine in Belgium or in Japan?
In Belgium.
In Belgium, okay.
Yeah.
West Flanders.
Yep. Specifically, a parking lot in the small village of Hanzame.
Oh, I know that place.
Okay, thank you. Kickstarter has become the new way to raise funds in 2015, with records being set seemingly every month for crowdfunding TV shows, movies, hand mixers, even European carryalls. Enter brewmaster John Lydon, who hopes that the run of good luck other folks are having on the site will rub off on him. Lydon is raising money for his new brewery called Handlebar, located in Duluth, Minnesota. Handlebar is hoping to meet and ideally exceed their goal of $200,000. He says craft beer is hitting a high watermark in the market, and we are primed and ready to jump in. Lydon, a home brewer turned hopeful pro, is planning on not only pushing his flagship beer, which of course is an IPA, in addition to releasing a steady stream of lagers. The photo on his Kickstarter page shows a smiling Lydon underneath a giant poster of his logo, a fluffy handlebar mustache with the tagline, "Where's your handlebar?" He says, the average age of beer drinkers is dropping daily, and I think our brewery will fit right in.
Wait, the whole story is that there's a brewery on Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, look, man, you want to question my bullshit.
I guess that does happen.
The last story was there's a beer vending machine in Belgium.
All right.
Turns out it's not Duluth, it's actually Cokato, Minnesota.
Right. Fuckers.
All right.
Man. I tell you. In the age of the beer...
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. New brewer seeks to raise money they don't have.
I thought it was interesting. I don't know.
Guy with a dream and $5.
Yeah.
Boy.
Wants to kickstart $200,000.
This week's real obvious already.
Oh,
yeah.
You guys are dicks.
Is he reading the whole story?
These are the summarized versions, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike. Sure. Hope you got paper cut a lot.
Carry on.
All right. In the age of the beer lawsuit, it seems that even the most rugged brands are not immune to scrutiny. Sure, we had that awesome Blue Moon lawsuit, but this one hits hard at the core of any young beer drinker. It seems a man in New York has filed a lawsuit against Miller for the marketing of Foster's beer. The suit claims the beer is marketed as being made in Australia when it's in fact brewed in Fort Worth, Texas, and even with American ingredients, he claims. There has been precedent for such a suit being successful. In June, a man who filed a class action suit against Beck's for exactly the same thing won his case, allowing anyone who purchased Beck's since 2011 to get a $50 refund, providing they had their original receipt. It's important to point out that nowhere on those classic oil cans of beer does it say that Foster's is brewed in Australia. Foster's is owned by S.A.B. Miller, of course, and is brewed under license in a number of countries, including the UK, where the European rights to the brand are owned by Lagunitas. Heineken.
Yeah.
And last but not least, the beer mile has become a thing in recent months. We talked about the rising sport a few times here on the show, and even discussed the sport's first endorsement deal with a current champion of the sport and a U.S.-based running shoe company. Now it seems even seniors are getting into the act. An 81-year-old grandmother of 3 from Fort Worth, Texas, recently beat both her daughter and her son-in-law by completing her beer mile with a time of 20 minutes, 24 seconds. Elvira Montez claims to not really be a beer drinker, preferring Chivas Regal over the carbonated stuff. Quote, I told her that even though I don't like beer, I'd try it, Montez said. I don't have any secrets. I just wanted to prove that I could run and drink beer. Just for comparison's sake, the new woman's record was just set at about 6 minutes.
All right, our news stories today are that there is a new vending machine in West Flanders, Belgium, that will give out cases of beer.
Yeah.
Second, a brewery has a Kickstarter campaign. Third, Foster's.
I thought it was good news. I thought it was interesting for the purposes
A new brewery
of this.
is good news.
Yeah, that was good.
Foster's is being sued for false advertising. It's not made in Australia. It's made in the U.S. And finally, an 81-year-old lady does the beer mile, even though she drinks Chivas and not beer.
Which is healthy. Yeah.
So,
I thought they were all good.
Those
Can we be clear for a second? Are these all JP inspired? Like, are they all rewritten by JP?
Yes, they're all written written by me.
All right,
Yes, that's
because
correct.
there's some silliness happening, and I'm.
They are.
too.
They are paraphrased by JP.
Gotcha, yeah.
One of them is entirely written by JP, and that's the one we're looking for.
Right.
The
really good. The one written really goodly.
Right.
Yeah.
The most life-changing.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Luke from Connecticut. Luke, you can tell us which one you think is the fake. You can also choose one person in the studio to help you out. Kara, Chris White, Mike White, Tasty, Beardy, or myself.
All right, you know what? I think number 3, the false one, is false.
All right, Nick is saying 3. Do you want any help from the studio at all?
Yeah, you know what? Let's see what Kara has to say.
Kara, what do you think? Which one? Do you agree that number 3, Foster's lawsuit, is the fake?
I don't. I don't.
Which one do you think is the fake?
I think it's the first one, the Japanese beer one.
Okay. Kara thinks it's the case dispenser.
Case dispenser.
Luke, do you want to stay with your choice?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to stay because I saw something on the internet about that.
Yeah, that's a good call. All right, Olivia from Burbank.
Luke, shut the fuck up.
Wow. Olivia from Burbank, which one do you think is the fake? Or you can go straight to one of the hosts here in the studio.
Tasty McDole.
No, okay.
Oh, she said no real fast.
Right. All right, right. Well, okay.
First of all,
I know it's B. I know it. Number 2, B, A-B. 2. Number 2, the Duluth thing with the must-have Kickstarter BS.
No consultation necessary.
All right, Olivia thinks it's number 2, no consultation necessary. She does not think that there's a brewery raising funds on Kickstarter.
In Duluth.
Well, what does Tasty have to say?
Oh, now you want to know.
She wants to.
Best calling ever. I love this.
Give him your number. He'll text it to you.
Well, I'll tell you what I think.
She's right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
If Foster's is making beer in Texas, we'd fucking know about it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So that's bullshit.
So you think number 3 is the fake? Okay. Olivia, would you like to change your vote from number 2 to number 3?
Texas or Minnesota? Number 2.
Hey, I said Olivia. Shut the dude up.
I'm sticking with B.
All right.
Number 2, sorry.
Number 2. All right. Nick from Sweden.
Yeah.
Which one's the fake, man?
I would think number 3 is the fake one.
Nick thinks.
But what does Beardy say?
Beardy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Beardy,
welcome
never ever called on before. Beardy taken by surprise.
Yeah, so what game are we playing?
Beardy says
all of that, JP.
Beardy says
I think I got it all, but just repeat it again.
One person on the planet cares what Beardy thinks. It's Nick from Sweden. Go ahead, Beardy.
It has to be international. I was leaning towards number 2 because being from Minnesota, the only reason JP knows that Duluth is even a city is because I've told him about it. So I'm thinking
that's not true.
I'm thinking that's the only reason.
Wow,
that's even a story.
So you think I was thinking of you at the moment I was writing this?
Well, when aren't you?
That's what you think. All right.
All right, Nick. So Beardy says it's number 2.
I would change my vote then to number 2.
Wow, everybody's going with number 2.
Hey, Nick, you know Thomas Franson? From Malmo?
The other Swedish guy?
I know him, but I don't know him.
All right, fine. Same country.
What, all Swedish people know each other?
Kind of true. In the beer,
He's a brewmaster.
really
Aren't there just two people?
Yeah.
This smacks of racism. You know.
It's way down south.
All right.
You sound like him.
HH from Georgia.
Okay, because Beardy agrees with what I already think, I care what Beardy thinks. What does he think?
What? I probably think the same thing that I did 10 seconds ago.
Beardy thinks...
Oh, well, good. I agree.
Okay. So
number 2.
Everybody's
number
good.
2.
So everyone's gone with number 2 except for Luke. Here's what I don't like about number 2, JP.
All right.
If it's the fake, it's not a fun. It's
JP would never do that.
It's a fucked up thing to make the fake, because what it is it's a entirely plausible, like with no twist, with no. It's a brewery doing a Kickstarter, but if there's not a brewery in Duluth doing a Kickstarter, then it's fake.
No.
and then it sucks. Then it's a stupid story.
What are you going to do, man?
This is kind of weird
because they all have like a thing. Like the point of the fake one is like,
But I think his fake
you thought it was outlandish.
does
Like
have
it's
a
not
twist.
outlandish. Am I missing the twist?
I think
his fake does have a twist.
Handlebar is fully funded.
So who?
They're not
See,
asking
that
for
would be,
money.
yeah. So it's going to get by on a technicality.
Right.
And then there's no reason to play the game because then it's just like it's a 50-50.
Well, it's actually 25-75.
What do you think the twist is, Whitey?
Well, it's everybody put their vote in, right?
Yeah. So you
I think the twist is number 3. I think it's the Foster story, but I don't think it's Texas. I think the story is about making it in Canada.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Foster is
so
being
annoying.
made in Canada. And
that's
I think
way better. That's way
changed
better.
No,
it to
because
Texas.
it's probably right. That's why.
That's my own theory on it, but, you know.
I'm really concerned right now that I'm going to hate you for this game when you give the answer.
Probably.
Yeah, that's why I'm really
all right, too.
More than already?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we've been getting along really well lately, and then now you're going to do this to me, and I'm going to hate you.
What would be wrong? I mean, it's really no different than any other stories that I've put
It
together.
is, though,
It's
because
really not.
if there has to be like an outlandish thing, and a brewery having a Kickstarter campaign is not outlandish. It's a thing. But you're like, but there isn't one in Duluth, so got you, fucker. Like, it's not a good...
No, I wouldn't. It's not. I'm never going to write a story and just change something to be like, oh no, the pint glasses weren't black; they're yellow, fuckers.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen.
Okay, good, because that's my concern.
No, that's not going to happen. No.
But it has to be 3, right? Because the whole audience thinks that Foster's is made in Texas. I mean, it thinks it's made in Texas. So that's the trick here. Like all these other ones are fantastic. A couple of them are fantastic. Not the Kickstarter.
But
Sorry,
Mike.
So I think that because that's so much what we expect. Yeah, Foster's made in Texas. It's not. Haha.
But he's saying he wouldn't just do a semantic thing like that.
No,
Also,
it's,
really,
it's made in Australia. I'm saying it's made in Australia.
Oh, I don't think
it's
that.
not.
I don't think that.
It's important.
They contrast it.
I think.
Wait a second, though. Why has nobody wants to bring up an 81-year-old woman running the beer mile, where every lap you have to chug a beer, and she doesn't even drink beer. She drinks Chivas Regal, which comes up on this program from time to time. No one wants to take issue with an 81-year-old beer mile woman.
I know the beer mile is a real event.
No one chooses
It's a real event.
So, I thought, he wouldn't twist that. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it too that far.
If she's pounding Chivas Regal, she can handle a couple beers.
She beat out, I think in the story, she beat out like her 20-year-old...
Her daughter and her son-in-law.
But it took her 20 minutes to beat out her daughter. Her daughter's not in good shape.
But she's 81.
Well, right, but her daughter, who's younger, can't even run a mile under 20 minutes?
I'm saying
I'm not sure I can run a mile under 20 minutes. Don't hate.
I mean, JP, this one sucks. And by sucks, I mean it's actually really good.
Weird. I think I got this though, because none of us can understand what the answer could be. Because none of us have read any of these things.
Well, I read number 1. Number 1's definitely true.
Yeah.
There's a case of beer
man.
vending machine in Belgium. So, Kara, you're
I think because there was no quotes in there. You can't make up quotes.
Have we gone through all the callers? Is there still one left?
Oh, no, callers are...
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to... God damn it.
Yeah, what do you say? We're curious.
Right.
I mean, it's the obvious one, which is never the one. But it's the 81-year-old lady. She didn't do the beer mile. And if he says she did, he's lying.
All right, let's just do this. I want to know.
So I'm going with the beer mile. It's not true.
That's elder abuse.
Foster's is true. It's not made in the United States. There's a fucking brewery with a Kickstarter campain, and number 1 is definitely fake or definitely real because I saw the thing. So there you go, JP. I just told you how the game just played out.
All right then.
All right.
Give it to us.
What do we got?
Okay, well, as Luke decided to spoil for everybody else, and apparently Justin knows this, there is, in fact, in a parking lot in West Flanders, a dispensing machine where you can get not only entire cases of beer, but even 6-packs.
I don't believe it.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of cool.
Love it.
I guess, right?
Great
I want
idea.
to see that vending machine.
Me
That
too.
way you can-
It's big. I saw a picture of it. It's really big. It's an enormous vending machine.
It's pretty huge.
Yeah.
That is sexy.
It's
love
pretty
it.
big, dude.
That is big.
It's like I'm looking at like BigBustyAsians.com, and he's like looking over my shoulder.
If Chris White thinks something is sexy, does Mike White get a boner?
Good question.
Think about that.
Twinsies.
No one wants to think about that. I can't stop thinking about that now.
I can confirm, no, I do not.
Yeah.
He probably thinks random boners, but he can't equate it to it.
Right. Yeah. Where did that go? What's my brother doing?
Right.
Where'd that come
Well, you see, Justin, what is a boner?
All right. Okay,
Mike
so
White.
one is real.
Picture your mom knows we're not talking about vagina right now.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank
Just
you,
big
Justin.
boners.
In my defense.
And so you said the beer mile was untrue, right?
He did.
Well, no, you got to give it up to the Chevy Regal drinking Elvira Montez.
What's your source? What's your source?
The New York Post, and there's a picture of her right there. She looks pretty good for 81. I won't tell
She
you
looks
that. Right?
great for 81.
Elvira.
Is she hot? Or
well, I mean, you know, she.
let me have a look.
She exists.
60.
Oh, I'd totally sleep there.
She looks like your mom, dude.
That doesn't say much.
No.
You reach for the lube on that. Huh?
She actually told Runner's World she should have run a little bit faster.
She should have.
Come
That's true.
on, JP. If Kickstarter is true, I swear to God.
Wait, if Kickstarter is true or
Paul,
untrue?
you know what I mean.
Oh, man.
Go on.
My favorite part is that her son-in-law didn't even finish the fucking race.
Right. Is there a picture of her kids?
And
he looks like us.
And Bro's in his like 40s or whatever.
All right.
Anyway, let me close that one out. Okay. And then
This is where we find out if my head explodes.
Which one should I drop first? Apparently, Foster's is brewed in Fort Worth, Texas, right now. That is fact. And a man from New York is, in fact, suing because Australian for beer, for him, means it's made in Australia and imported. He's a real douche.
Fine.
So
So talk to me about Kickstarter. You're saying
You
that
never know.
the entire story was made up. It's so amazing.
I love it.
That's a stupid semantic story. Like,
Why? A brewery called
if we checked in Minnesota.
Handlebar?
Right.
But it's
and their tagline is "Where's your handlebar?" I thought it was
amazing.
I thought it was clever. I thought it was like it was just going to slip right in. This is what's happening in the beer world.
It's too like how can you even keep up with how many Kickstarter breweries there are? So it's like there's no like way to decipher if that's true or not, other than there's not a Kickstarter.
So what was the quote from the guy opening it?
With craft beer is hitting a high water mark in the market?
No, doesn't he talk about the age of craft?
The average age of beer drinkers is dropping daily, and I think our brewery will fit right in.
Yeah. That's kind of like what guy's going to say that. The age of our drinkers is getting younger.
So fucking stupid.
So Beardy is the
underage
only expert up here.
He's
that got it right.
He's too internal, so he thought that the only reason I picked Duluth is because he told me there was a city that exists at some point in time called Duluth. So he's crazy. Don't worry about it.
As far as I can tell, that's what happened.
No, it's not.
No, yeah, that's
So
that's
there is-
Again, this is just a dumb semantic thing. It's like,
So what do you?
could've
So
picked
what
any
do
other
you?
Duluth, but
he's always
there is
thinking about
one in
me.
Grand Rapids.
Not called Handlebar by a guy called John Lydon, who's raising 200. The whole story
all
is
that's
fabricated. The whole story is incorrect.
none of it's true.
I get that, but there's no way to decipher if it's fabricated or not.
That's
the
called
point
the
of the
game.
game is to have some sort of clue to decipher what's real or what's
You're
not.
just mad
not
'cause
just
you lost.
picking a.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Sore loser.
Yes.
Actually, not at all. Just picking. No, I'm serious.
I know. I'm just
I'm not
messing
pissed
with
at all
you.
about losing.
Yeah.
I lose every
I didn't say
fucking
you're pissed.
game. I lose every
Yeah,
game.
right.
The premise is stupid.
Okay.
It's stupid. All
right.
It's like saying
I don't care.
It's like putting this story in. White Labs is about to release, and there's no way for anybody to know. White Labs is about to release WLP 699 Abbey Ale yeast. Not just one Abbey, but two Abbeys, and then. But there's no way to. It's just a random.
Of course, but that is what that is the point of the game.
No, it's not.
For me, I came up with the fucking game.
No,
I know
you didn't.
Yes,
it's
I
a
did.
game every radio show's done for about 20 years.
I came up with this game.
The point
for this
of
show.
the game is to find a way to choose the fake story.
No, the
but
point
if
of the
there's
game
no
is-
deciphering material, and it's just a random.
The point of the game is to write a story that sounds so much like another story brewery, it's hard to decipher the difference, and you have to guess
So
by
that a
using
brewery
analytics.
has a Kickstarter
Okay, well, I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what you want.
Is the way to choose a story nobody
Just
can
because
decipher?
Scott's not here doesn't mean you can yell at me for no reason. It's
Hey,
a good
ladies and
game.
gentlemen, White
It's
Lodge is
fine.
coming up with a new yeast. True or
Look,
false?
I won't do another one.
It's a 50-50
I don't
chance.
want to offend your clearly delicate sensibilities about what is a satire and what is supposed to be.
What is satire
true.
about a brewery doing a Kickstarter campaign?
Called
That's
Handlebar.
actually
You're missing
not
the
doing a
intent.
Kickstarter
That's
campaign.
the problem with
It's
you
the icing
right now
that
is you're
he's
missing the
talking about.
details that I did put in to make it easy. No brewery's called fucking Handlebar, dummy.
Really?
Yeah.
Think of about 10 fucking brewery names. Cleophas Queely?
Okay, look.
You're telling me that there's not a brewery named Handlebar?
So you're getting mad because one time out of the entirety of the times that I've done this, maybe it's not as dialed in as you want?
Yes.
Fuck you. I'm not going to do it then.
Not just that,
This
but
is
that
stupid.
it's completely retarded.
Okay, then
to
I'm...
pick a Kickstarter
well, there you go.
campaign.
That's it. We're done.
There is a thing
We are?
That's it.
There's a
What
thing
if I'm
called
not done?
deductive
What
reasoning.
if I'm still going?
I'm not going to... Okay, well, I'll do this.
Yeah.
You can just keep going.
And then what?
I don't know.
And then we do awesome radio?
Well, look,
No,
you're screaming at me for no reason. I'm trying to fucking stand up for myself for no reason, and we're not getting anywhere. So either,
Well, we're totally getting
either
somewhere.
you just
Your
want to
game
yell at
sucks is where we
me, then I'm
just
not going
got.
to do it anymore. So we've established what you want to do. You want to end the game.
No,
that's it.
I'm still going.
But no, but the thing, because I'm not gonna change the way that I write it. I've never changed the way that I've written it. This is the only time you've ever had a problem with it.
Because it's the only time it's been stupid.
Okay, so then there you go. That's your opinion on it. I said I disagree, and
still-
we're done with the argument. So I don't know what you want. So if you keep fucking yelling at me, I don't have anything to give to you. So I'm pushing my mic away because I don't have.
Even
I
still,
don't have anything
3
else
of
to
our
give you.
contestants won the fucking game on your stupid game.
I was going to say, JP, that's what you have because 3 people got it.
Exactly.
That's because that's something you had on him.
3 people have the same stupid idea.
I would have to care enough about what he's saying right now.
At least
I
2 of
just
them got it
honestly
from
don't
me, though.
really give a shit.
I want to hear about condiments.
Shut up, Kara. 3 people have the same stupid idea, which means Olivia won, Nick won, and HH all won. And they're listening to us yell on the other end of the... I have to hang up with you guys because I can hear you listening to us yell. 3 people won. That means that Olivia, Nick, and HH all need to... I could just put them on hold for you, Bebo. And can I do that?
Can you?
Hold. Hold. Oh, wait.
Don't hang up.
Hold.
Yeah, please. Hold, please.
I have no idea. You're just like clicking buttons.
And that one can go. Go. All right. Give those people a prize.
Okay.
Give them the stupidest thing that we have to give.
Why are you so angry that I won?
Did you win?
I was right. That's why you're upset.
You're right. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Keep drinking.
Beardy won.
All right. Give them all of our dumb shirts.
I think you hung up on
all of
All
our
of our dumb shirts. Yeah. We're going to be out of shirts.
Give them all those 3 X's.
Yeah. All right. Great job, JP.
Yep. Well, it'll be the last time, so that's all right.
All right.
It's all right.
Be a quitter.
I will.
Just because you did one stupid game doesn't mean you should quit.
It's not because I did one stupid game. It's the reaction. I don't want to have to go through that traumatic event again.
That's too bad. I had fun with it.
That's all right.
All right. Are we done?
No, you got Twitter game, unless that's stupid
That's
too.
what I
and
said.
you
I
wanna
wanted
do
to
it.
hear about condiments.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know anymore. That's all.
You're right. That one is stupid also. Everything you've done tonight is stupid.
Do we not want to do it?
And every other show that you've ever done is stupid.
Good.
All things are stupid.
Yeah, that's probably true.
What do you think about the yeast ball?
I'm the only one dumb enough to come back in day after day.
That's not true. Look at all this. Bevo's been here for years.
Yeah, I'm showing up.
Yeah, well, she gets paid.
Damn it.
I can't find the door.
Line. That's funny because it's true. Line 2 wants to chug 5 beers
On the air?
on the air.
That sounds stupid.
What does that sound like?
All right, who are we talking
This
to?
is Olivia and her man friend.
Which one's doing the
amazing.
5 beers?
I'm not sure. They were just on the air. They just played the game.
Is it
It's Olivia and
Olivia.
Olivia, are they oil cans of Foster's?
No, well, we're also known in the forum as Stew in the Stew,
All right.
and I wanted to bring back the fine beer chug and chug some Bourbon County Stout from Goose Island. I've been letting it warm up.
You're not going to work
Yeah,
tomorrow.
fine beer chug.
Are you chugging 5 Bourbon County Stouts?
No. Fine.
like FIND.
Oh, fine Bevo.
I can't hear. Sorry.
That's all right.
Beer. Just one. Just one. I just have one.
Is it a 12-ounce bottle?
500 centiliters, I think. Right?
Like 60.
Yeah, like a pint.
Sure.
Are we in America or not?
Definitely.
The new one.
Really? I'm going to get sick thinking about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, though.
Well, let's listen to it then.
He might get sick.
All right, go ahead. We're listening. Chug Bourbon County Stout.
How warm is it?
I'm ready to go.
How warm is it?
And here we go.
All right.
If you throw it on the carpet, I swear to God.
All right.
If he
Got a
drops
bucket there?
How's he drops it, you're going to curse at God?
No.
Oh.
There it is.
How was it? That quick? Wow.
That was amazing.
How do you feel?
My head feels like blood.
Huh. So
Your head feels like blood.
Warm and wet.
All right.
Hot.
This is not good for everyone involved.
If you're going to spew into something else.
What a waste of a good beer, you dumbass. All right, thanks for the call.
Yeah.
Was that it?
We done.
Well, there's the Twitter game.
Twitter game was if we made spices, what was it? Condiments.
Also, feedback never happened.
What would they be? Oh, yeah, that ain't happening. What would they be?
Jeff Haynes says, a topping so sensual you simply cannot mention it on the air.
Okay.
TK says, Bevo nays, and then he says, sorry, Bevo, I'm just trying to win the damn game.
That's nice.
Conrad B says, how about a small dose of Shut the Fuck Up Beardy? Makes everything taste and sound better.
All right.
Marcus Harton says, Moscow marinade. You don't know what it does, but you miss it when you run out.
All right, I like that one. I'm writing it down.
Casey Price says, wacka 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 sauce. I think we know where it comes from and what it goes in.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
Which I think he means the butt, but I don't know.
Oh.
Corey Stevenson says, Viga Rouse meat rub, because everyone likes to rub their meat Viga Rousely.
Oh, old school.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Pete DeDink says, whatever it is, it makes producers leave. Beer Pete says, the Brewing Network presents Doc's Little Guy sauce. Good on sandwiches, steaks, fries, eggs, etc. Don't forget it doubles as toothpaste.
Oh, I liked it till the tagline.
Yeah, me too. Sean J says, make a balsamic vinegar mix with Justin's tears called Sour Sponsorship Dreams.
Oh, I like that one. All right.
Blobber says, poop in a jar in many flavors. JP's girthy deposits, Justin's runny wheats, and Moscow's thin skin sphincter splits.
That's all one thing?
Well, those are the flavors.
It's not marketable. It's too much.
Okay. Luke Finley says, Beardy's beard broth. 7 strands of beard hair with yeast slurry delicately mixed with relish. Great on tacos.
I love it.
All right, all right.
John Boris says, TBN Sandy Salt. Perfect for margaritas, vaginas, or grumpy producers.
Okay.
Austin says, a pile of shit called lunch meat.
I like that.
That was pretty good. And then finally, Louis says, Scott's spicy mustard packets. They'll be half full, leaving you in the middle of your meal wondering what happened.
All right. So the 4 that I wrote down were the Moscow marinade, the sour sponsor dreams of Justin, the Beardy beard wash, and lunch meat. The pile of shit that is lunch meat.
I think it's about good, yeah.
All right, we'll raise our hands to vote. We'll start with the Moscow marinade. Raise your hand if that's a vote. We got 4 on that one. The sour sponsorship dreams of Justin. Raise your hand if it's that one. No votes. The Beardy beard wash. That's 1 vote. Mike White has yet to vote. And the lunch meat, 2, 3. We have a tie.
4.
We need a tiebreaker. Bevo, you need to yield your second vote. Is it going to be for the Moscow marinade or the lunch meat?
I was on the phone. I didn't hear the lunch meat one.
It's a pile of shit.
A pile of shit.
That makes you an expert.
Just vote for it.
I vote for the first one again.
Moscow marinade. That's our winner. Who's that person, JP?
That is, where did that go? Marcus Harton.
All right, Marcus. You need to send an email to bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. You are our last contestant to enter to win a chance for a cabin on the Labruski Cruise with us, and we'll be drawing that name next week on our Christmas show, and we will give away. You're going to get to come party with us, which clearly is a great time.
Right.
I always have a blast.
Not a bad deal, I'm thinking.
I'm just going to sit in the casino and get drunk the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time. It's gonna
Even
be good.
before we board?
Oh, yeah.
You'll be there?
I'll be
You're in
there.
the casino.
Yeah. All right. Also, don't forget you can go over to adamandeve.com right now and do your gift shopping that way. If you need to get that sexy gift for the person in your life, go to adamandeve.com, use coupon code BNARMY, BNARMY, and you'll get 10 free gifts. Plus a bunch of videos and free shipping and a gift for him and a gift for her and a gift for you both and all sorts of cool stuff. And you don't have to go to that creepy store down the street from you or all those weird stores that say adult store all the way through Oregon. You ever done that drive up 5 and like every mile there's a yellow sign that says adult store at every... I'm the only one who saw that? Nobody? No one's driven through Oregon?
Nope.
All right, go to adamandeve.com and you also don't have to know about all these creepy stores.
We didn't stop as much as you
Right.
did.
Well, I only stopped at like 7 out of 10 of them. Yeah. I had to see if they were different
You're
tasty.
trying to find the best deal.
Yeah.
What Belk roads were you on?
Adults are expensive.
AdamandEve.com. Use coupon code BNARMY and support them because they support us.
Funny.
All right. Now let me check.
I laughed.
We've done everything but feedback can wait.
Hey, and one more reminder.
Right.
Yes, Tasty?
Sure. Renew your EHA membership tonight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Click the AHA link right there on our homepage, and you can get yourself a renewal. You can get a fresh membership. You can gift a membership, and you get 2 free books, Modern Homebrew Recipes and American Sour Beers, and a tasty
sticker if it's postmarked today or tomorrow.
You got to do it fast. Yeah. All right. So lots of reasons to join the AHA. Not to mention you get Zymergy, you get the Saturday pass to GABF.
Yes.
All sorts of good stuff.
Online real-time magazine is great.
Yeah.
There should be 1 million.
Yes.
AHA members.
That's right.
Yeah.
There should be.
And there are not.
No, more like 25,000, I think.
Yeah, I think it's around 30-ish. Yeah, you're right. There should be 1 million. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. All right. Sign up now. Hit the AHA link on our homepage. Kara, thank you for coming into the program.
Thank you for
You've
having
been a
me.
joy.
It's been great. Will you please become a co-host of ours? Just move up to Davis for a little while and be a co-host.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Perfect.
We'll figure it out.
That's binding.
It's very Californian of you.
To the lab.
The California statement of "we will figure it out." I use it myself.
We'll work on that. It'll be good.
Yeah, we're
Later,
going to
bro.
work on this. Whitey, you could be a co-host too, but you're a busy man. Your brother, on the other hand, he doesn't do shit. He can come be a
No,
co-host.
he'd love to hang out here and co-host.
Just every Monday, Mike. Just come on up.
I actually think that's a great idea.
Justin, I have some demand.
I'm missing some things.
He would really like to read your Adam and Eve ad one day.
Do you want to redo it, Mike? You want to give it a shot right now?
Yes, please.
He's sitting back down.
Come over
He's
there.
sitting
Go
back
over
down.
there where you see the copy.
Come here. I mean, do you want to do your own copy or do you want to read the copy? All right, you want to read?
I think he's got to read it. 'Cause I don't think he'd know what.
This is amazing.
Yeah, I got to get back to it.
Hit the record button.
Almost there.
I said one day. I didn't say right now.
Mike, you got to put that tongue back in.
Adam and Eve's getting
He likes Adam and Eve.
Oh, God.
It makes him hungry.
Wait, I gotta
Adam and Eve's
get the
getting a double whammy this week.
camera angle. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Sexy voice.
Right. Get in the mood.
Let me ask you a question. Are you getting enough? I bet you love more, right? Well, AdamandEve.com wants to give you more.
Yeah.
With 10 free gifts for you. He'll love it. She'll love it. I'm just summarizing, kind of.
Spitballing.
Plus, you'll get 6 full-length adult movies or DVDs. I mean, that alone is worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
So come on and put your number in.
Come on, what?
Do you know
Jump
what
on the
this is for?
bandwagon. And why not just go to Adam and Eve and select any one item?
Yep.
It could be something that will make you very happy. Or just enter your code at checkout, BN Army, and you'll get all 10 free gifts. That's a winner right there. Go check Adam and Eve out because you're going to do better tomorrow than you are doing today if you follow this deal. That's BN Army at adamandeve.com.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
That's a Mike White guarantee right there.
My favorite part was you're going to be doing better tomorrow than you are today. That's like good old Midwestern fucking
come on down
encouragement.
That's like party sex.
If you think you feel good right now, wait to use this coupon code.
I literally loved every part of that.
Yeah. It made you want to go to the website, didn't it?
No, it didn't.
I hope we see a spike.
Yeah, so do
Oh,
I.
we will.
I'm going to get a call from them tomorrow. What happened last night? We sold more two-sided dildos than we have ever sold ever. All right.
It's a parade in town.
Oh my gosh.
All right, tune in next week where we've got our Christmas show plus the Brewcaster Challenge results between JP and Moscow.
I
Moscow
gotta
will
bring that in?
will be back on the show. Yeah, you got to
All
bring in your beer.
All right.
And it is for second place in the Brewcaster Challenge.
Good. Story of my life.
Third place.
There's something else you can't do as good as I want you to.
Right. Win first place. Actually, I didn't even want you to get second place because you beat me. So
That's easy to do.
I didn't even want you to do that. Tasty still has to brew against Doc, which we'll be doing in the new year. Doc doesn't have a brew set up right now. So
I'm all for delaying things.
what do you guys have to brew?
Gruit, isn't it?
I thought it was a vegetable beer.
Spice herb vegetable?
Spice or vegetable beer.
I think you're right.
Why don't you pico brew it?
I think you're right.
Well, I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll
come
do
to
that.
White Labs and use my
I'm breaking that
Pico
bitch
brew.
out. I'm in that thing out, yeah.
Tasty, when you get to come to White Labs San Diego and brew back
yes,
beer.
that again this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, soon.
Soon. That's what you told
We'll
me
work it out.
He just doesn't call you when he comes.
We'll figure it out.
We should do something.
How come you never invited me to brew down there, Whitey? What the fuck?
Never invited me to
Because you're not as good a brewer. It's Tasty.
That's a good point.
Like, if you made a good beer, it'd be like...
I appreciate his honesty.
It's an excellent answer. The man is a doctor. Knows what the fuck he's doing. All right. Are we done? JP?
We done.
All right, let's get out of here. We'll see you next week. Thanks to White Labs. Don't forget to go over to yeastvault.com. And you guys are badasses for coming up and joining us in our studio once again. It's been too long. So come back again. And we'll fight some more in front of you.
Love it. Thanks.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Chris, Kara, and Mike all came up to sunny Concord from sunny San Diego to talk yeast, beer, and all things in between. Check out the latest at whitelabs.com. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts and go to earsuppodcast.com as JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Go check out Moscow's Hop Cartoons over at hoplifestore.com. For some good beer insight and homebrew info, follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Warren has terrible taste in beer. Production director on the session has been Pushy Jecht. Today's show was loosely produced by Justin Crossley. JP simply existed, which was a moment in your life that you experienced. Bevo loves her nursing bra, and your host was Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race.